SQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York. Don.
She fell in love with the sex.
Hahn.
Sauce was everywhere.
And Rosenberg.
If you want to stay up, he's got the energy that matters. This isn't North Dakota. This is New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
The best threesome I've ever heard.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
All right, here we go with Don LaGreca. I'm Alan Hahn, right? Peter continues to be off. Don and I here with you. Don LaGreca getting ready for a little road trip.
That's right.
The Knicks back in action tonight. The Devils last night, you know what? I mean, I know they're still struggling with offense, but that's a pretty good win there in Vegas, right?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with beating the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas in a shootout. I mean, they did blow a 1-0 lead, but it was on a power play goal late.
Well, it's you have one goal. I mean,
you get Brett Pesce back.
Right.
Not that he's any kind of household name, even in NHL circles, but they're 9-1 with him in the lineup. And They finally got him back last night.
That's good. As a player, that's the best stat.
And then I'm heading to Utah tonight.
Look at
you. I was gonna watch the game today. I was gonna go to bed early like a responsible human being, but I had some issues with my travel that I had to get taken care of, and until it was taken care of, I wasn't able to fall asleep. And so I listened to it on the radio. Maddie and Chico did a great job, and got to hear that. So looking forward to flying to Utah tonight. And now things are back to normal in the NBA. Our long national nightmare for some is now over.
Sorta. It's sorta.
Yeah. Tell us why it may not be, Alan. Tell us why.
I mentioned it yesterday, the initial injury report. And I said, I have a theory. And as I keep looking at the injury report today, it has not changed. As of 2:30, there were four rotation players on the injury report for the Knicks. 3 of them starters. So OG Anunoby, questionable left knee contusion. Mitchell Robinson, questionable left ankle injury management, which it's the first game of a back-to-back, and he doesn't play back-to-backs. So that's not the surprising one. And Karl Anthony Towns, questionable with left knee soreness, which we saw in the NBA Cup final. He did have a little bit of a knee issue in that game, though he did finish it. And last but not least, Josh Hart. He's also questionable. He has a rectus abdominal strain.
Okay.
Anyways. So could you see these guys sitting this game? We know Bridges isn't sitting because he never sits, and Brunson probably don't want to. But it's a game that does count. Now, it's at Indiana. Indiana's got the worst record in the league. They have everybody's injured. And it is the first game of a back-to-back. This would be, they're in the midst now, Don. Would be, by Sunday, 4 games in 6 days. That includes flying from Vegas to the East Coast. So this is your reward for winning the NBA Cup.
Right.
And so, are the Knicks going to have to potentially punt on a game tonight because you don't want to wear your players out and you want to make sure that everybody's okay, and it's the first game of back-to-back, and you want everybody in the lineup for a home game on Friday night, right? Against the Sixers, which they're a good team. So, there is to the theory and to the John Winthrops of the world that, have a problem with Wednesday's game not meaning anything. Is this could be the residual effect, is some guys might have to sit out tonight. But we'll see. I don't know if anybody's sitting out, but I see the report, and 4 guys are listed as questionable that you would have expected to play.
Now, there's 2 things. One you could answer, one you can't. The one you can answer is, what if they lose because of this? People will freak out. Like you said, Indiana's one of the worst teams in the league. You should be able to win them with these guys.
They can't score.
That are healthy, so it won't matter. No harm, no foul. But what you could answer, I guess, or at least give an educated guess, same scenario. Road game, home game, back-to-back nights. But the road game is Detroit.
Oh.
Is it the same thing? Or is it, hey, I got to play these guys because this is a team we're chasing in the conference. This could be really meaningful for us.
I don't know.
So are they resting guys because it could still be a win even with the guys rested?
Well, I don't know. Look, I really don't know how to answer that. I think I'm looking at it from the aspect of players that don't normally want to rest or sit might have to sit. That's all. I'm looking at it like that. Like, I'll put it this way. Brunson doesn't want to sit. You know that. He's not on the list. Anunoby's on the list, but if the game's in Indiana, he played at Indiana in college. I think he wants to be an all-star. He could be an all-star, and he's already missed a lot of games, so he doesn't want if I'm him, I want to play because I don't want any more games missed because I don't want that held against me when it comes to all-star in a couple of months. So there'll be a little bit more extra motivation for him to play. Towns, you want to make sure that knee's okay. Hart, that sounds like a very painful injury, Don.
Right.
Rectus abdominal strain.
Rectus interruptus. That was what Jet fans went through at the end of the Rex Ryan era.
Oh, yeah. But what's funny is that you would think that Brunson's the one that has a rectus abdominis strain.
But nobody,
and
don't kill the
maybe
players.
Hart would have a thumb strain, if you know what I mean.
Well, I wouldn't criticize the players. This is the load management garbage that we talk about in the NBA, and part of the problem. And the thing is, I still believe in my heart the reason that you have this in-season tournament is because you want to make the games more meaningful, but now you've almost given some of these organizations a reason to rest guys because that to me, and I haven't heard this from John Winthrop or any of the anti-NBA Cup guys. Mm-hmm. I've heard, I don't want to hang a banner, they're bigger fish to fry,
right.
The game doesn't count in the standings. The one thing that I can get on board with is, do you really want, when you're competing for a championship, to play all these extra games of stress and travel? All right? That game against Orlando, if it was a regular season game in Orlando or New York, would be stressful because it's a conference opponent, but not nearly as stressful as a semifinal game in the Cup in Vegas, right? So that, and now, short turnaround after you win the championship game, another stressful game, also 2,500 miles away from your home. And now you got a short turnaround, got to be in Indiana in less than 48 hours to play a regular season game. That, to me, is more of an argument than anything else. And, again, I'm not against it. I'm just saying that, to me, is an argument I'll listen to. And if it affects the Knicks tonight against the Pacers, then I can understand that puts, gallons of gasoline on the fire.
But we'll see.
Yeah, it's not.
Game's at 7, by the way, so 6:30 pre here.
Well, there you go. So no, but we just figure we throw it out there. We will get to this. In a little bit. We'll also that guy Thursday got it coming up at 4:30. Another Anthony Pusick led ENN at 6. So we're looking forward to all of that. But why not talk some football? We got a huge game tonight.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested to see if you're going to partake in. Seahawks playing host to the Rams. Last I saw, the Rams were getting a 1.5.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks were a favorite. I like this game a lot. But do I want to put 3 points on it, Alan? Do I want to do it?
Both teams have clinched a playoff already, right?
Right.
But the division, obviously, is still very much up for grabs. In fact, there's no division clinched yet.
Which is crazy going into Week 16.
Right? Like, normally you got at least one, like there's one that's taken. And that, we haven't, it's only 4 times we've seen that happen in the last 26 years, or more, actually.
Oh,
less than that.
24, Alan. That's
24 years. Yeah. Well, no, since they went to 8 divisions, 2002.
Yeah, it just makes it even crazier,
Right. So it's so it's only happened 3 other times, but the last time that happened was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's normally somebody's locked up something by now, but it hasn't happened, which makes, again, now these next couple of weeks pretty exciting starting tonight.
It is so crazy what's going on with all the parity in all these sports, but certainly in the NFL. And it makes for an exciting game tonight, which we may or may not be in on. I don't know if he's reached out to Peter in Vermont to see if he wants to play.
Did you see the photo he sent us?
It is really. I have not been. I've been to Montreal. That's where he's eventually going to end up.
Right.
But I've never been to Vermont or New Hampshire or Maine. I'd love to do that.
I would also love to forget vacation. I'd love to have paternity leave like that. That's a paternity leave. That's how you do it.
It's a sore subject with me.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
that's probably why I brought it up.
Because I don't know if this policy was not in place when I had the twins, or nobody told me.
No, you didn't look in the employee handbook to find out that you could have.
Now I did. I was off for 18 days. Not all of them work days.
Yeah.
When they were in the NICU, but that wasn't galloping around the country and sometimes the world. It was, stuck in a NICU, waiting for my kids to be allowed to leave the hospital.
Right.
So a little bit of a different experience.
A little bit. That's why I said that.
But again, it's no shade on Peter. Take advantage. Michael and I are just kind of curious whether this policy was in place when we had our children and who benefited from not telling us if there was a policy. Those are the two things I'd like to
It's funny
get
because,
into.
by the time I had the fourth kid, Callie, Stephanie told me to go back to work. She was like, "Oh, just go. Like, I don't need you around here. I got this." She didn't want me around.
I don't want to name names, but if you're somebody that has a wife that can get pregnant, sharing the same, doorknob, then you could work it to where you never work, right? have the kids, take the 8 weeks, get her pregnant again for the 8 weeks. You have to work a little bit, and you can make this like every 9 months. You're disappearing for 2, work for 9, off for 2.
Phillip Rivers.
That grandpa at 44. That's. I don't want to say that's not right, but it's not. It's weird. So what's the age? So how? No. I guess it's his oldest child. So
44. You can have a kid at 20.
The youngest grandfather that I ever remembered in sports. I don't know if you remember the name. He was an offensive lineman, I believe, for the Falcons, named Lincoln Kennedy.
Yeah.
Does that name ring a bell?
Yes, absolutely. That's a name
he was
you
a grandfather
2
at
presidents.
47. That's 3 years. That's 3 years past Rivers.
Yeah.
And I don't think Lincoln Kennedy was patrolling the Falcons offensive line at the age of 44. The way Phillip Rivers is going to start for the second consecutive week for Indianapolis. So
cool.
we'll discuss that.
Yep.
But Mike Florio was on PFT Live, and he said it's very interesting because I don't agree with this at all, Alan. I want to get your thoughts on it. We want to get your thoughts on it as well at 1-800-919-3776, where Mike Florio, who is as tapped in as anybody around the National Football League, believes it is not out of the question for Aaron Glenn, head coach of the New York Jets, to be one and done.
Aaron Glenn is a defensive head coach. And he fired his defensive coordinator. There's just something odd about that. If the defense is so bad that the coordinator should be fired, I think you're putting yourself a little too close to the flame. I still think there's a chance it's going to be one and done for Aaron Glenn in New York, and I think this move that he made is a manifestation of what he's feeling right now, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic as he's 3 weeks away from possibly being one and done as the New York Jets head coach. And I'm a big believer in admitting mistakes and not doubling down, but you still are admitting the mistake. And he's admitting by firing Wilkes that what he did is what he shouldn't have done. And we see it with offensive coaches. When you become a head coach, you don't abandon your offense. You bring your offense and you run your offense. And the only time that I think it's worked for the defensive guys when Mike Tomlin went to Pittsburgh, Dick LeBeau, he's got it. I'm not going to mess with it. It's working. I'm not going to screw it up. That's far different from I'm just going to bring in some coordinator and let him run a defense even though it's different than mine. So I think there's a chance Aaron Glenn's going to be one and done. We'll see what the Jets do.
I don't see it, Alan. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Now, I understand where he's coming from. It's a bad look that your defensive coordinator could make it through 15 weeks of the season, and that's on you. But other than that, where has Aaron Glenn failed in the expectations for this organization? Now, was I in the boardrooms? Do I know exactly what their expectations were? No. But I think I've been around the Jets long enough to know when they don't have expectations, they usually keep their mouths shut. And they didn't speak at all during the summer. There was no fat talk. There was no, boisterous, it's going to be a fun year. There were some fans who thought, hey, we can win 7-8 games, but those are some fans. But I think the Jets soft-shoed this open because they knew that it was going to be a long year.
You've said this from day one.
Yeah, from day one. So I don't how has he failed their expectations
summer.
Then?
Right, because you've been saying this all along that they have been trying to tamp down any type of expectations for this season because they didn't feel it. It was everybody else that was ramping them up because they thought Justin Fields was going to be better than really what he is, and that the defense should have been better. The Wilkes hire was the curious one. I will say that at the time, and a lot of the feeling was that he hired somebody that was a head coach, maybe could help him with some of the head coach stuff.
Right.
But he also thought, he can run a defense, can he? And then he found out, no, he can't. And so, look, I don't know Mike Florio, but I think this is a terrible take. I think he's speculating. I don't think it's based on anything he's heard. I think he's just seeing it like he's trying to read tea leaves here, and I think he's just completely missing the boat.
Well,
because
listen.
First of all, he signed a 5-year deal, Don.
Right.
Woody Johnson firing somebody and still having 4 years left on his contract doesn't make sense. Number one, let's just start just business-wise. It doesn't make sense. Number two, his reasoning of you're too close to the flame, you fired the defensive coordinator. No, this is exactly why you fired the defensive coordinator, because you're a defense guy and you realize this was a bad hire and I need to get somebody better in here. Chris Harris actually was somebody that they interviewed for the job. He's the one taking over as the interim. So Chris Harris is somebody that actually was in consideration for the job, but they thought go with the experienced guy in Wilkes because we have an inexperienced guy running the offense. So there's a little more on Aaron Glenn's plate to finish the season. I agree, and there's a little more eyes on him because if the players were that unhappy with Wilkes and his kind of antiquated defense that doesn't have much when it comes to variable, I feel like this shows you he's even more in command and more in control. Yeah. That's how I feel.
And listen, Mike Florio knows way more football and way more inside than I am.
Well, he knows more people, yeah.
And he knows a lot of people. But this seems to be coming from not I'm hearing, but just reading the tea leaves as an expert in the NFL, that when you see you failed at your defensive coordinator decision, you failed at your quarterback decision, that those are fireable offenses. I can understand you thinking that on the surface, but as two people, myself and you, that have been in this market forever, I covered the Jets for 16 years. You've been a fan of the team forever.
Yep.
I feel that we're close enough that this hit different with Glenn, that there was no chance this was going to be one and done. Now, listen, Woody can fly off the handle. Somebody might become available like what happened in New England. I'm going to get rid of Gerard Mayo because Vrabel becomes available.
Well, that's the only way
I want it.
That's the only way you do it, right?
But there is no coach. The only scenario where I would see the Jets would even think about letting Glenn go is if, for some reason, the Joe Burrow stuff became real, and Joe Burrow wanted out of Cincinnati, wanted to come to the Jets, and told Woody Johnson, listen, I'll come to you. I'm not coming here if Aaron Glenn's your head coach. Go hire John Gruden and I'll come. But I don't think that's going to happen. But just you give a 5-year contract to a guy that has never been a head coach before. He is a former Jet. He comes recommended by the great Bill Parcells. He came into a season with zero expectations. In some ways, exceeded those expectations because after they made the trade, they started winning some games. Now it's gone sideways. I'm not going to lie, and Wilkes got fired because of what happened against the Miami Dolphins for sure, and deserved to be fired. But I'm with you. I think Wilkes was brought in more because he had been a former head coach. Listen, if anybody looked at the resume of Wilkes, knew that he wasn't going to be here long. Right. He was like the king of one and done. Yes. So it's just like, hey, we talked about it earlier in the week. It might have been a favor. Hey, listen, I'm going to bring you in. I like you. We're friendly. I'm going to give you an opportunity for a job. You've been a head coach. I'm going to pick your brain. You're a defensive guy, and we'll see how it works out. Didn't work out, I'll let him go. Favors only go so far. So I don't read the tea leaves the same way Mike Florio. All I'll say to you is this. I would be absolutely flabbergasted if Aaron Glenn was let go. Flabbergasted. I would be as shocked as anything that I've seen in sports in the last decade if Woody Johnson and the Jets parted ways. I don't care how these last 3 games go. They are not going to pay him 4 more years after you're also still paying Saleh. And that, never mind how much money you have. I'm not even calling somebody cheap. That's setting fire to money.
It's stupid.
It's beyond stupid. There's no way. And the only reason we're giving it any credence is because of how much we respect Mike Florio.
Well, because what he says, it is everywhere. Everyone is now using it and promoting it and saying, like, he's saying this, it could be true. And I'm telling you, I'd be stunned. I'd be like this. First of all, maybe I shouldn't be stunned because, Donnie, if there's ever a Jets will be Jets move, it'd be something like this. But we saw it happen in New England because New England had, a blood-in-the-ground guy who was inexperienced and he looked bad in his first year. But they also had another blood-in-the-ground guy who wanted the job in Vrabel, who was available and wanted it and was perfect. That's different. Who do the Jets have? Unless like the only available coach, like somebody that has any type of experience, because you need an experienced coach, to replace an inexperienced coach that has any type of connection to the franchise would be Rex Ryan.
Right.
That's the only guy.
And you could have hired him instead of Aaron Glenn.
And you could have gotten him last year. So it doesn't make sense. I just don't see it. The reasoning doesn't make sense. Him getting rid of Steve Wilkes at the end of the season was him acknowledging that first of all, the defense should be better. It's not working. Second of all, the players weren't happy. And we need to do better. They weren't tackling. Don, we watched those games. They missed tackles. They weren't tackling. Their physicality was not there. You saw a team of guys who had let go of the rope, and that's dangerous in the NFL. So he wants to finish the season out strong, something you have said is very important for Aaron Glenn, that you got to show. And it looked like for a minute when they won 3 out of 5 that maybe it was turning the right direction. But the last 2 weeks, it has looked terrible.
Right.
And it has looked terrible because the defense has been awful.
And to do nothing reflects poorly on Glenn. Not in the sense of I got to do this to save my job. I got to do this to let the rest of the NFL know that we're a functioning organization, that I know what I'm doing, because I want to attract free agents. I want this to become a destination. I want people to come here because of me, not come here because of me. Right. And if I just see a guy that I brought in fail and I just continue to have him coach the team, well, that reflects poorly on me. I think it's a move that tells me that he's in, not any kind of desperation to stay in.
Yeah, I see that. That's where I agree. It signifies to me he's even more dug in and in control. And I also think it signifies something else. He better find himself a good defensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
Because what we're seeing from Aaron Glenn is this is a guy who's definitely a leader of men. You could see that he does care about the group as a whole. He cares about being the coach of the Jets. He's emotional. He fixed his media stuff early in the year. He was terrible at it, and I'm sure some people got to him and got him right when it comes to the podium and how he acts. But I don't want – like Rex was such a defensive mind and a savant. He could be the head coach and also oversee the defense, right? But he wasn't running it, but he could oversee it. Aaron Glenn, I don't think, can do that.
Not yet, anyway.
I don't think he's that. Well, he wasn't even that in Detroit, right? So I really do feel like he'll be the one voice guy that oversees both sides. He won't be just about one thing. Like Dable was overseeing the offense with the Giants, right? He really wasn't paying attention to the defense. Right. And then when Wink started getting frustrated, he couldn't handle it. I think Aaron's got to stay as a head coach and a CEO and the leader. But I don't want to see him take over play calling of the defense. I think he needs to bring in an established and a talented defensive coordinator.
Now, what I want to hear from you guys at 1-800-919-3776 is not the validity of the Florio story. It is when you heard it, did you get excited, disappointed? Like, how do you feel? Do you think he should be one and done? Do you want another coach here? Or do you think he deserves to at least get next year and a couple of years to see if he can find his footing and be the coach that they thought they hired last year? 1-800-919-3776. We got a big show. We've got that guy Thursday at 4:30. We got ENN at 6. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. We're hanging out with you until 6:30, and then we've got Knicks basketball, the rare Nick Pacer 7 o'clock tip right here on ESPN New York.
Round 1 of the college football playoff.
Let's go!
Tomorrow, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon.
Round 1 coverage on 1050, 880, and the ESPN New York app.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
There's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-5 2.5S all-wheel drive for $229 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN S077553, MSRP $30,920. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
Boxing is back at Madison Square Garden on Saturday, January 31st for the Ring 6. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Power meets precision on boxing's biggest stage. This is one fight you won't want to miss. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and watch every round live exclusively on DAZN.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
At Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, we're celebrating this holiday season with our $155,000 Slay the Road drawing, including your chance to win a new Land Rover Defender and $10,000 cash. Earn entries all month long, then be here on January 1st between 12 and 3 p.m. when one winner will be drawn every hour to win up to $20,000 cash. At 4 p.m., one lucky winner will win a Land Rover Defender and $10,000 cash. At Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Discover a driving experience crafted to inspire. At Garden City Mazda, exceptional design and sophisticated performance come together during the Mazda More to Move You sales event. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5 for just $229 a month at Garden City Mazda.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks a million, guys. Good afternoon. If you're heading inbound at the George, stick with the lower deck. Roadwork picked up, just about a 5 to 10 minute ride. Upper levels still have some repairs. That's going to run you about 15 to 20 minutes. Gridlock alert day, and you're feeling it heading outbound across the Hudson River. Over at the outbound George, all of your approaches are jammed aside from the Henry Hudson. West Side Highway northbound, bumper to bumper with a crash in the 120s. Delays there go back into the 90s. Cross Bronx westbound, just slammed from the Bruckner on through. Outbound Lincoln already about 20 to 30 minutes. Outbound Hone already close to 40. BQE westbound jammed in Brooklyn over by McGinnis Humboldt. Crash in the right lane, been out there for over an hour. Heavy delays go back into Queens. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Hey team, Wendy here. If you're looking to consolidate your high-interest credit card debt with a personal loan, take a look at SoFi's stats. A SoFi personal loan comes with low fixed rates, no fees required, and as soon as same-day funding. That looks good on paper, but SoFi also passes the eye test. Having helped its members pay off over $33 billion in debt to date, score. View your rate for a SoFi personal loan at SoFi.com/stats today. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, NA member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply at SoFi.com/stats. NMLS 696891.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, Alan.
It's time. It's totally time.
The Knicks visit the Pacers with coverage immediately following us on 880 at 6:30. The Rangers are in St. Louis to battle the Blues with coverage on 1050 at 7:30. And the Nets host a Heat also at 7:30. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Let's hear from you at 1-800-919-3776 what you're thinking. You know, you were talking about Rex Ryan, and you wonder if Rex could end up being Aaron Glenn's defensive coordinator, and that's not a good idea.
Mm-mm.
You don't need somebody who wants your job hanging over your shoulder, ready to pounce the second something goes wrong. That wouldn't be a good idea. And, and this suggestion for Michael and Ridgewood, you're on ESPN New York, you would want Todd Bowles to be the DC. I'd worry about that for the same reason. Michael, row your boat ashore, hallelujah.
No.
You know what? He wanted Todd Bowles. Same thing.
He gone.
Yeah. First of all, I understand that Todd Bowles is a really good coach and didn't necessarily show that while he was here outside of that one season where they won 10 games. I don't think it's a good idea for a second-year coach coming off what might end up being just a 4 or 5 win season, having your D coordinator be a former head coach of that team. I don't think that's a good idea.
Mm. Well, but again, it's that bridge is, Rex talked it up last year. I think he tried to get himself in the door. It didn't happen. I don't think that's ever going to – there's not going to be a Billy Martin situation there. But, I still wonder because, Glenn got the job, and he clearly wanted the job. But no one – I don't want to say no one good because I don't want to be disrespectful to Aaron Glenn. But I'm saying, no one of significance wanted this job. And so when I say you got to still get a good defensive coordinator, you got to get somebody in here that knows what they're doing. And who wants to work for this organization? That's the bigger problem.
And
who wants to work for? I'm sorry, who wants to work for Woody Johnson? I think it's as simple as that.
But ask yourself the question.
And don't give me the whole, it's one of 32 jobs. Because stop it. It's a bad job.
I get it. It's a bad job. I mean, it's not one of 32 when there are college jobs that are more prestigious and more financially beneficial than the Jets. So it's not just one of 32. It's one of 132 when it comes to that. Now, the other aspect of this thing is a 5-year contract. You didn't have to give him a 5-year contract. He's a first-year head coach. They gave him a 5-year contract because I think they want the slow burn with this.
Yep, he said that.
And I don't think that they're just going to all of a sudden abandon it after 1 year. Now, he's not Don Mattingly. The Yankees wouldn't hire Don Mattingly because, he's a legacy guy. Aaron Glenn was a really good player here. He doesn't have his number retired. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he's somebody the fans really liked. Blood in the ground, as you like to say. Mm-hmm. Wanted to be here. Recommended by Bill Parcells. You're not throwing that away after one season. One season in which you can't tell me this isn't what any logical person would have told you this season was going to be. Right? I mean, a 5-win season is kind of what I suspected it would be. Now, there were some yahoos out there. I think they win 7-8 games. The only reason you thought that was because you probably thought that Justin Fields was a guy that was about to pop. Yeah, he popped like a balloon. And he's not any good. So how many wins do you expect to have, Alan, with 0 quarterback play and 2 of your best players being traded midway through the season? How many wins do you expect to have?
No, sadly, this season went the way I expected it.
Yeah. And I think how the Jets expected it.
It's why, you guys were so mad at me. It's why I was, like we always say, I had no movement the whole season, none. And the one game that I said I'm kind of interested in this game was the Dolphins game, and what'd they do?
Yeah.
I mean, they did manure all over the field. I can't get excited. The next time I'm interested is when Darren Muji takes over. When it's his now he's the one running things, and that's in the offseason. All right, what are you going to do? How are you going to get a quarterback? What are you going to do with those picks? What's the plan? Everything's on the table, including the crazy thing that Booker said yesterday about maybe punt to next draft. Nobody wants to hear that because nobody wants to wait. But that's all I got right now, Don. They are not interesting to me at all.
Well, I
but
get
this
that.
story about him being fired after 1 year, I felt like we need to discuss because it's just so, again, I know Mike Florio knows people and all that stuff, but it doesn't make sense to discuss something like that with the Jets.
Now,
it doesn't
it would
make
be
any
the first
sense.
time the Jets did something that didn't make sense, so I guess that's got to be part of the formula too. But
I keep stopping myself.
I would really be shocked. All right, let's go to Brian. He's in Sleepy Hollow. You're on ESPN New York.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
The only way I would say get rid of him is if you know that Harbaugh's coming in or Tomlin's coming in. Otherwise, I just think Florio had his version of the mail it in before the holidays take right there. It's come on, man. I I don't love Glenn. I don't love him. Like, there's a couple, the mismanaged game time in London. Also, the end of the Atlanta game, if they missed that field goal at the end, he kind of screwed the pooch in a couple of ways, didn't take down the time all the way. They lost yardage. But otherwise, I do think he's the leader of men. And I'm hopeful, but not, super hopeful for the future. Thank you.
Well, I mean,
Happy
obviously. Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Brian. You too. Obviously, if you're a Jet fan, why would you think anything is ever going to be any different? But a rookie head coach is going to make mistakes. You hope he learns from them. I'm not telling you to feel good about Aaron Glenn. I'm just telling you he ain't going anywhere. And some of the things that I'll forgive in year one are not going to be forgivable in year 2 and 3. But I want to see who his D coordinator is going to be. I want to see who his quarterback is going to be, exactly how they're going to handle things. But it's going to be difficult, I think, Alan, if they go the way the Booger suggested and not be about 26 and get your quarterback in the draft in 27. You're going to have to judge Glenn beyond wins and losses because there's not going to be a lot of wins. But you're going to have to judge him on how the players play, his decision-making, game plan, adjustments at halftime. But if you're just going to judge him like, he's got to win 7-8 games, well, that might not be physically possible for him to do. May not logistically be possible.
No, but all he has is the blueprint from Detroit. That's what he's got. And the first year started out awful, and they won a little bit later on in the season. Then the second year started out bad, and then they really started winning towards the end of the season. The third year was great.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how it has to go. But the problem is in Detroit, you can fly under the radar because it's the Lions and nobody really pays attention, except for in Detroit. Here in New York, they thrive on controversy. So it gets a lot of attention. And something like this gets attention. Oh, he could be a one and done. And everybody talks about it. Nope, it's not going to happen.
Lee on Long Island, you're on Don Hahn Rosenberg.
Hey, gentlemen, happy holidays. A lot to touch on with what you guys have been talking about. First thing I just want to mention is that, you talked about him being a rookie head coach. There's other rookie head coaches we can compare him to, and he does not even hold a candle to like Liam Cohen or Ben Johnson right now. So you want to talk about, he is really honestly.
They have quarterbacks, man. I mean,
but I'm going to get to that.
Overall pick.
They have way more.
Trevor Lawrence may not be what people expected, but he's a quarterback that has taken a team to the playoff. You can't judge Chicago and Jacksonville's talent to the Jets' talent.
They were ready to throw Caleb Williams out the door last year, and now Ben Johnson comes in
he was the number one team. Nobody was throwing him out the door in Chicago. Nobody was.
And I do want to touch on two other examples that you guys. I think you mentioned the New England one. And the Broncos, and these are very eerily similar situations because those were first-year head coaches.
Right.
They finished in last place. People don't remember that the Patriots finished behind the Jets last year, and because everybody thinks the Jets are such a clown organization, they were actually in third place over the Patriots. Both of them fire their head coaches after 1 year. They bring in new head coaches, and these guys are not working with the number one overall pick quarterbacks. One was the third quarterback taken in his draft. The other was the sixth quarterback taken in his draft. So you don't need to have Mendoza, number one quarterback, if you have the right coach. So if Aaron Glenn's going to be one and done, it's predicated on getting the right coach, but I think it has to be on the table because he has done a terrible job with this team. And I want to point out that this team, if it wasn't for special teams, they could be winless right now. Their special teams are the reason they won the 3 games they won.
Lee,
it wasn't the offense and the defense.
Lee, the one of the things the one thing you said that I agree with, and it's only one thing, is that those situations were inexperienced coaches who were clearly over their heads, and you're talking about like established resume coaches were available and wanted the job. Now, one of them they had to trade for. Remember, they gave up picks for Sean Payton, and it didn't happen overnight.
If it was the right coach,
I agree, but that guy's not available. That's not out there.
But you can't
that option's not on the table. Like I just got to remind you, that option is not on the table. Well, I'm just trying to tell you before you ask the question, the option you're bringing up that the other franchises had was not on the table. That's a real thing that you have to understand. It's like Vrabel is there's no Jets Vrabel out there. Vrabel didn't even want to talk to the Jets. So that's not Ben Johnson didn't want to talk to the Jets. That wasn't on the table for them. And for the Broncos, they targeted a coach that they knew was they were trying to get out of it anyway in New Orleans. You knew that the time had run out for Sean Payton in New Orleans, and they were willing to make that kind of aggressive move to bring in a guy. And it's in 3 years they're a great team. There's nothing there for the Jets.
Those are the number 1 and 2
right,
seeds
but
in the
Lee,
AFC now.
You know what else you're missing?
Matters.
You know what else you're missing? The Jets should never, ever be in the same sentence as the Patriots or the Broncos. Ever. Right now, you're talking about 2 franchises that are run well, and one that is probably one of the worst-run franchises in the sport.
But wait.
You're not going to attract people.
I'm not going to have a conversation when you're saying that you're going to fire Aaron Glenn because he's not Mike Vrabel and he's not Sean Payton. Vrabel did a good job in Tennessee. He is an experienced coach that came to New England with a quarterback that was taken 3rd overall. All right?
And he wanted to go to New England.
Okay.
He wanted the job.
But I'm saying, he's like, oh, you could be a first-year head coach with a team and win. But they had coached before. Sean Payton had won a Super Bowl before. All right?
My
he's
head
taking
hurts.
Bo Nix. But
Does
Bo
Lee
Nix,
really think they could have won more games?
I don't think Bo Nix is that great of a quarterback. I'll go as far as to say I think they're winning in spite of him. All right?
No, he's
still
better.
better than no quarterback. You don't have a quarterback.
None
Tyrod
quarterback.
Taylor and Justin Fields are none quarterback. You have none quarterback.
None
right?
quarterback.
So don't start telling me, well, look at what Vrabel's doing in New England. He's got Drake May. Look what Sean Payton, who won a Super Bowl in New Orleans, is doing with Denver. With the best team with the best defense in football in a home stadium that's difficult to play in, and with Bo Nix that is 1,000 times better than anybody that will play quarterback this year for the New York Jets. I mean, that's a difference.
Yes.
All right. And listen, I could throw out Bill Parcells, 3-12-1 his first year. I could throw out Jimmy Johnson, 1-15 his first year. I mean, there's some coaches that go to the Hall of Fame that didn't start out great. So stop living in this little tiny universe where you don't like Glenn and you're going to give me little tiny examples that are exaggerated, but I find them tiny little examples.
Well, Don,
this guy should be fired.
Do
with
you
no
think,
thought of the history of the NFL.
You think the Jets should have had a better record this season? You think the Jets could have won more games? What 2 more games? You'd still suck. Like what are we talking about? This was about bad quarterback play and defense, and a defense that got worse and worse as the season went on, to a point where you had to fire the defensive coordinator. Those are the 2 biggest factors: bad quarterback play and defensive play, especially in the linebacker. They were not good, not a good team.
But before Wilkes got fired, in the beginning of the year, when we were still in the competitive portion of the season, how many games did we watch the Jets hang in there? And if they could just get anything out of their offense. Remember the Carolina game? Anything out of their offense. They'd get it. They never get turnovers from their defense, and their offense never scores any points.
Never scores.
How are you supposed to win? How?
Yeah.
And it wasn't because they couldn't, decipher an offense. They didn't have a quarterback. And they were playing with teams and hanging with teams and just could not flat out score. I just think it's lazy. But, people want change immediately. And I don't see Woody Johnson.
But you can't just say fire,
Donnie.
I know we got to go, but I say this a lot. Every time you say fire him, fire Boone, fire Aaron Glenn, fire whoever you want to fire, it's always like, who are you replacing with? Because it's franchise malpractice, especially if you're a bum-ass franchise like the Jets, to fire a coach and have no plan after 1 year.
And you mentioned there were
the
options.
Patriots had a plan. They knew Vrabel was there.
I'm sure they wanted Vrabel. I'm sure they wanted John. These guys didn't want to come here.
That's it.
So, and that's why you're trying to change that narrative to make it an attractive place to come and play. But it doesn't happen overnight. Not with the damage that's been done to this organization for decades. 1-800-919-3776. More of your calls. That Guy Thursday is coming up at 4:30. At 5:30, we got Damien Woody. D. Wood, did he watch Napoleon Dynamite? I say no.
Boy.
But we'll have to wait and see. We'll take you up until 6:30, and then it's Knicks basketball here on ESPN New York.
Friends, it's football season, the best time of the year. You should be out there tailgating, cheering on your team, and enjoying every Sunday. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. You don't have to live like that. There's help. Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and is dedicated to helping you get back in the game. Here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that deliver real results. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, and sciatica with a plan that's customized for you. Same-day and next-day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is always close. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Visit SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Most major insurances are accepted. That's SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not that.
Of course he did, right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch, so you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part? You can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the tree is slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The Winter Savings Event is right now at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $169 per month, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5. Select for as low as $229 per month and get as low as 0.9% APR financing rates on select model. Plus, enjoy 1 year complimentary of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Fellas, it's the season to shine, and not just from the holiday lights. Manscaped is here to keep you looking sharp for every holiday party, family photo, and mistletoe moment. The Lawnmower 5, groin and body trimmer, and the Chairman Plus face shaver deliver precision, comfort, and control worthy of Santa's nice list. I've been good and nice. Whether you're tidying up before a big night out or preparing for New Year's Eve, Manscaped has your back. And your face too, to be exact. So gift yourself with some grooming greatness this season, because looking good is the best gift of all. And now you can find Manscaped products at your local Walmart. Who knew caffeine could taste this good? With 5-hour energy shots, caffeine just got a serious flavor upgrade. We're talking big flavor, from watermelon to strawberry banana to sour apple. Packed into a tiny 2-ounce bottle, you'll get as much caffeine as 12-ounce premium coffee with 0 sugar and also 0 crash. And with 17 bold flavors to choose from, there's a shot for every mood. Find your favorite flavor in-store today or grab a variety pack online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon and give your caffeine a flavor upgrade.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings during the More to Move You event. Lease a new Mazda 2025 CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $199 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN 385912. MSRP $32,795. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
From the regular season to the Super Bowl, ESPN New York is your destination for football. We've got crazy fans.
If the Giants somehow beat the Cowboys, I'm going to take a dump on your head.
You can feel good because you're a damn football team.
Expert analysis.
Marcus Spears joins us now, ESPN NFL analyst Damien Woody.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Hall of Famer Steve Young.
He's kind of our resident general manager, Louis Riddick.
We got Mike Tannenbaum right now.
And all your fantasy and wagering needs. This is ESPN New York. We are football.
You can follow us on social media, at DHR on ESPN or at Alan Hahn and at Don LaGreca. Jennifer Hart did that, and she says, I'm only thinking that Glenn being fired after 1 year is he came in, blew things up, acted like he was going to turn it around, but all his decisions backfired, and he doesn't seem to truly get that, and all of but 2 core players are left and no quarterback. Well, I'm still of the belief that it was collaborative with Justin Fields, that you needed to get a bridge quarterback. They thought they'd catch something there. It didn't work out. Wilkes didn't work out, but he at least pivoted and fired the guy. And I don't like the way he dealt with the media, and I think there was an air of confidence around him. But at no time did I think that he gave anybody the impression, Alan, that this turnaround was going to be immediate. And he even said after the deals that, by the way, Muji made. He didn't make those deals. Muji made them.
Mm-hmm.
That he said that, what was it? Big ships turn slow, whatever his quote was or whatever. But so he was telling you that this is going to take a little while. So I think there's a certain fan base, that a certain amount of this fan base, a percentage of this fan base, that for some ungodly reason thought this team was going to win 8 games. And now they're ticked off and want Aaron Glenn to be the guy that failed them. No, I think you failed assessing that this team could be that good. I never thought it. Alan never thought it. I don't think the Jets thought it. But we were taking calls in the summer. Hey, I think this team could be a 7-8 win team. I think it'd be alive in December.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know why you thought that.
That's ridiculous.
And now you're mad, and now you want to take it out on somebody, and it's going to be Aaron Glenn. And we played every sound, and I killed him for the way he treated the media.
Yep.
Right? And a lot of people killed me for that. Oh, leave him alone. He doesn't have to treat the media. He can do whatever he wants. Okay. Now the same people are probably hating on him and want him fired. I was critical of that, Alan, but I don't remember ever playing a cut in the summer where he gave you any indication that this team was going to be a playoff team or anything better than it's actually been.
The only indication he gave you is that he was going to be the only voice. That's what he made it clear, that he is the big voice now, and that's the reason why guys like Aaron Rodgers weren't there. I don't want to have a guy like that could, try to Bigfoot me around this organization like he did the previous coach. Not going to happen.
And I think that was led by the organization who wanted that perception that there was an alpha dog, and he was the alpha dog.
Town. Right.
But I still believe things that he took ownership of were also very collaborative. I don't think he was the only one in the organization that wanted Justin Fields or Wilkes or making the deals that were made. All right, let's get back to the calls. You can watch us on YouTube. And there's a very healthy YouTube chat that goes on during the show, which I think is cool. And Lewis and Harrison is a part of that. And
hey,
he joins
Lewis.
us on Don Hahn Rosenberg. You're on ESPN. What's up, Lewis?
How you doing, Lewis?
Hello, my friends.
How are you?
How we doing?
So Don, what I learned about Lewis.
I'm not in Harrison. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hang on. Lewis, I want to make sure I introduce you properly. So Don, what I've learned about Lewis is that he is a school teacher. He's been a school teacher for a long time, so he gets into the chat early because school's over, and he jumps right in. So it shows you how much he loves the show. So first of all, I have a high respect for school teachers because my wife is one. So Lewis, welcome. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. I've been listening to the show since 1947, at least the previous incarnation. And I remember when the show started and Don was just the guy giving updates, and it was part of the song. So long time. I did meet Don over the summer. I went to the Sasso game. I was the guy in the wheelchair who he shook my hand and took a picture with my son, and it was very gracious, and I really appreciate that, Don. I want to thank you for that.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say was I work in a school. Our school last year was a K-8 school. They were changing our school to just the middle school. And absolutely, once that decision was made, everyone working there was kind of mailing it in. I hate to say that was what was happening, but it kind of was. Everyone knew it was over, and it was over. And for the Jets, to me, the fatal flaw this season was not drafting a quarterback. I very much believe in the policy that you draft one till you get one. I don't care if it's in the last round. You draft one if they had taken Sanders with their last pick, at least we'd have something to look like to evaluate. But instead, they did nothing. They just took Fields and said, okay, we're going to throw all of our stuff in Fields. Fields can't play. Once Fields can't play, the season's basically over at that point. Then we lose Garrett Wilson. Then you trade away some of your best defensive players. So these people in the chat are calling up, and they want Glenn's head. Guys, the team waved the white flag. The owner, the GM, waved the white flag, said, this is over. It's done. We got draft picks. This is about next year now. So you can't really evaluate the guy. I'd be shocked. It would be the most Jets thing and Woody Johnson thing ever to fire Glenn after 1 year when the team is a dumpster fire and you threw gasoline on it. I mean, that's really what happened.
Yeah.
And that's all I really wanted to say on this topic, because I think people are crazy.
Well, we've learned that. So thank you, Louis. We have definitely learned that. But it really did feel like that, didn't it? You're going to trade away pieces like that to collect draft picks. You're basically our season's over. We're going to next year. That was abundantly clear. But and Mike Tannenbaum always says is Mike Tannenbaum's big on the whole you draft a quarterback every year until you get one, until you find the guy. So that's definitely something they should have done. Brady Cook was he was undrafted, right? They signed him after the draft, right?
Yes.
So he wasn't even a draft pick. They just took him, and now he's playing.
Well, you drafted Taylor in the second round. I think he could work out the tight end. So would you want to take Shedeur Sanders?
Well, he's talking about a quarterback. He said every year, and they didn't draft one at all last year. And I agree.
But
especially if Shedeur is sitting there,
I know,
in the fifth round, man. What are we doing?
Man. But if you don't like him, you don't draft for the sake of drafting. You draft somebody that you like. Not I need a quarterback, so I'm gonna waste a pick on a guy that I really don't think is any good, and then what happens? You're just gonna try to, develop a quarterback. First of all, they're not very good at developing quarterbacks in their history, but in this current regime, you take the players you like, and if you don't like them, then why would you take them? And there's reason not to like a lot of these quarterbacks. Even in the 5th or 6th round, if you don't like them, why would you take them? Just for the sake of taking them? And obviously they look at the board and say, there's a guy I'd rather have. So you're going to look away from the guy you'd rather have just for the sake of taking a quarterback?
Well, they took a linebacker.
Disagree with Mike Tannenbaum on that.
They took Kiko. I don't even know how to say his last name.
What round?
In the 5th round.
In the 5th round.
Yeah. Has he played? Has he played much?
You know what? I don't know.
You know what I mean?
All right, but that doesn't necessarily mean that if they had taken a quarterback, that guy would have worked out either.
Mm.
I understand what Mike Tannenbaum saying. You need a quarterback. Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle. But even though we all look at these 7 rounds of picks, you have a 53-man roster, right? So you've got to be able to build. You don't make a lot of trades in the NFL. So the draft is where you really build your team. If you're a general manager, you got to take the players you like. Not, I need a quarterback, so I'm just going to take a flyer on a guy that I maybe don't like. They do the work on all these guys, right?
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know what you didn't see in Shedeur Sanders with the 5th at value at a 5th round pick.
But listen, don't you think? No offense, that they were probably told Shedeur's not playing for you.
Oof.
So don't bother taking him.
Fair point, because
he
did say no to other places. Right. Did he? That would have been something
because the dirty little secret, Alan, about why he fell as long because it wasn't 32 teams that could have taken him. If you take 20 teams and say I'm not playing for you, then they're not going to draft you. So now it's only down to maybe a dozen teams that would pick you, and of those dozen, do they need a quarterback? Did they? So I do think that's why he dropped, because he probably gave a list and told teams, don't take him. He's not playing for you. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets were one of those teams. 1-800-919-3776, having fun with this. We got Knicks to talk about. We got Damien Woody coming up, That Guy Thursday, all on ESPN New York.
The holidays are here, and Amazon Pickup is your MVP of package pickup. Need that perfect gift like a brand new jersey for the big game? With Amazon Pickup, you can grab your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule at no extra cost. It's fast, it's easy, and it keeps your holiday surprises tucked safely away. So whether you're running from work or heading to the holiday party, Amazon Pickup makes holiday shopping worry-free. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hey, New York and New Jersey. Commitment issues? No problem. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, as in for life. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
There are small risks in life, like giving a kid a football to play with in the house.
Whoa, watch out for the... Okay.
And then there are big gambles, like giving a kid a lottery ticket. Never gift a lottery ticket to a person under 18. Learn more about how to gift responsibly during the holidays at playresponsiblyny.com. Please gift responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Some stages celebrate. This one tests everything. Every drive, every approach, every putt. Pressure builds. Resilience matters. And history waits for the bold. In June, the 2026 U.S. Open Championship returns to the Hamptons at the iconic Shinnecock Hills Golf Club. Experience the world's best golfers competing on one of the sport's most storied stages. Don't just watch greatness, experience it live at the 126th U.S. Open. Daily tickets are available now on SeatGeek.
Discover a driving experience crafted to inspire. At Garden City Mazda, exceptional design and sophisticated performance come together during the Mazda More to Move You sales event. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5 for just $229 a month at Garden City Mazda.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, Alan,
It's Tully time. It's Tully time.
The Knicks visit the Pacers with coverage immediately following us on 880 at 6:30. The Rangers are in St. Louis to battle the Blues. That's not a must-win, but after a couple of tough losses, you lose to the Canucks. Blues aren't any good.
How about must score?
The Rangers are on the road, which has been a haven for them. You got to get 2 points. There's going to be conversation tomorrow if they don't get 2 points in St. Louis. And so coverage will be on 1050 beginning at 7:30, and I'm assuming Dan Grassa will handle that. And the Nets host the Heat at 7:30. You know, when I listen to a Ranger game, and I do a lot of times in the car listening to a Ranger game.
Sure.
There is this like a twitch that I feel when I hear the introduction music, and I think I've got to say something.
You got to jump in.
And then they say, Dan Gross, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. They don't need me, right? I'm not doing that anymore. That used to be when I did updates for a long time, at the Fan, because when I did updates at the Fan, the responsibility of the update guy was to give a little 10-second update during the ID. So I would give the idea, but I would give like a Mets score. Not a Mets score because they had the Mets, but you know what I'm saying, the Yankees score or something going on. And for years after leaving the Fan, whenever I'd hear, let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify, I would be like, my head would go up. I'd go, wait a minute, I don't have anything. I'm not in the studio. You get so used to
it's Pavlovian,
stuff, so.
Right? That's what it's become for you.
Yeah, because you get used to it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the pre and post, and I didn't do the pre and post. I did the games, but Dan's doing a wonderful job. But it's an adjustment. It is certainly an adjustment. We'll get back to your calls because a lot of people are really hot on talking about Aaron Glenn. Really down on Glenn. Want change. They got excited. They got movement when they heard Mike Florio say that he could be one and done. I don't get it. But I never hang on the rim. It's not my thing. And if anybody should hang on the rim on this, it's Allen. But we started the conversation about Burrow way before Burrow ever even said anything. So I feel like if it ever does happen, this show deserves its flowers, and Alan Hahn deserves flowers for starting the conversation. And
That'll
listen, you
never
take the
happen.
slings and arrows with it, because a lot of people just thought we were ridiculous. Mel Kiper on the morning show, who's talking about Joe Burrow to the Jets or the Giants? But now Burrow keeps talking, and now people are starting to pick up on something. They're getting a scent. It's been in our nostrils for like a month, but now people are starting to pick up the scent.
Where there's smoke.
Right.
We just happen to notice the smoke before everybody else, but now it's starting to burn. There's some embers. This is a fire now.
And there were some allegations, whoever smelt it dealt it. I get that people thought we were just making stuff up.
That's a great usage of that old phrase, by the way, in this context.
Right.
I love it.
There's people like that. So, but I should say before we continue, Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey.
Oh, yes.
During today's action, glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. But now it's a thing. It was a thing on SportsCenter earlier today, and it was a thing on Get Up. Dan Graziano, who we both really respect, said lots of speculation as to Burrow's future.
And this has been a big talking point throughout the league for about the last week because people want to try and figure out what it all means. Is Joe Burrow starting to sound like he could go down an Andrew Luck path? Remember, he retired early because he got sick of rehabbing injuries so often, and Burrow's had a lot of those. Some think it could be a Carson Palmer situation where he didn't like being in Cincinnati and forced his way out of there and got a trade a long time ago. And then, of course, Jamar Chase, his teammate and friend, said after the game Sunday, you never know what's going on in someone's life, and that has led to some speculation. Is this football related at all? Does Joe Burrow have something going on away from the field that is bothering him and causing him to be this sort of introspective and uncharacteristically glum?
Glum.
Well, there you go.
I like that
glum.
word.
We've heard glum. That was the big word in the spring, remember, with Soto.
That's right. Soto was glum.
So glum's making a comeback. You could make the case that was a word that wasn't used for like a
no,
full decade.
glum had kind of like been out of our lexicon for a long time, but I think now it's forcing its way back in now.
Now, Dan Orlovsky was on Get Up. Burrow saying he wants out or wants change.
1, come get me. 2, I'm not staying here presently constructed. I don't care what anyone says. He's not saying this stuff just to share it on a diary. He's saying it publicly to make a clear declaration of this is not going the way I wanted to. Losing sucks. It sucks. And then you're getting hurt all the time. How many teams should not call or have the plan to call Cincinnati and say
5?
So every team basically in the NFL outside of let's give it 8 to be high.
Sure.
Should be having conversations right now. How do we package this together? Are we going to take our quarterback and 2 or 3 first-round picks and call Cincinnati and say, here? And I understand it from the Cincinnati fans' perspective. If I were the Cincinnati Bengals, I wouldn't want to get rid of him either. Duh. But there's a reality where he's making a very clear declaration. It's not going to continue to go this way with me as the quarterback.
So it's a reality now.
Okay. Now do you believe us?
And now if you've got as many as 24 teams making phone calls to Cincinnati, who's got 5 first-round picks that can dance in those conversations?
Only
Who?
the Jets.
All right, the Giants, who I'm less high on to do this, but if they say, hey, we might have the first overall pick and Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
You can get a quarterback and get the first overall pick in the draft, where you can do whatever you want to give a star player to Jackson. So all I'm saying is,
but wouldn't this, if you knew, like, I want to add to it. I'm sorry. I know you're saying all I'm saying is, so I should let you finish that before I go. Go.
No, please.
I apologize because what you just did though is like you just like quick twitch just happened. It almost, if you had an idea, even if you didn't actually, I'm losing every damn game the rest of the season. I want that number 1 pick now because if I have 5 first rounds, including the number 1 overall pick, who's got more than I got to give you? You can get your next quarterback, and you're getting extra picks as well. That's what. Who else has that to offer? But if I win a game or 2 here and I end up with like the 4th or 5th pick because of tiebreakers and everything else, that is not as valuable as having the number 1 pick.
But it's more realistic for the Giants to get the first overall pick than the Jets, and the Giants don't have to have it be the first overall pick Because if they attach Jackson Dart to it, and both Alan and I are in agreement, we wouldn't do this.
It's hypothetical. I would never.
But we're
that.
just saying, when Dan Orlovsky, who's tapped in, is saying there could be as many as 24 teams making phone calls. You know, the Jets and the Giants, maybe not the Giants, but the Jets are definitely in that conversation of the 24 that would be making that phone call. Mm-hmm. The less attractive thing about the 5 overall picks, the 5 first-round picks, is none of them will be the first overall pick to get Mendoza. And Mike Tannenbaum told us they're going to want a quarterback in return. Well, the Jets don't have a quarterback on their roster. The only way it could become a quarterback for Cincinnati if they were to then take those picks and trade up with the Giants, with Tennessee, to get Mendoza. The Raiders are going to get the first overall pick. Let's be honest. All right. So I don't think the Jets. You could tank all you want, Alan. You've got too many wins. Yeah, the Raiders are not going to win another game. The only game they might win is the Giant game, and you know. It's typical Giants. This is the game they're going to win, just to freak out their fan base.
All right, it's fair.
I don't care. That's the thing. Forget about the Giants should lose. I don't care anymore. I'm dead inside when it comes to the Giants. I want Jackson Dart to play well, and if that means they win the game, then they win the game. That's where I stand.
All right.
But the Jets, there's no scenario. You have to agree that they're going to end up with the first overall.
No, I know. I like this would have been like 3 weeks ago when we first started talking about it. Like you got to internally, you'd look around at each other and go, wait, if this guy's available, we need the number 1 pick. But like there's what Dan said is maybe 8 teams that don't need a quarterback, right? Or at least that wouldn't try to make a deal like this.
Right.
Everybody else would. And what was I just saying an hour ago about the Jets and coaches and all that stuff? Nobody wanted the job.
Right.
Now, you would argue that if you're Joe Burrow and you have the choice, like, Giannis wants to be a Knick, right?
Right.
Joe Burrow doesn't want to be a Jet. He'd be going from the frying pan right into the fire. Like, why would you do that? He'd want to go somewhere where it's like there's a history of winning. There's a coach there that's like a good offensive coach. Like, get me somewhere where, again, Matthew Stafford went to the Rams, and that was a perfect place. He left Detroit, which was just, for him, misery. And he went to a place where not only was the weather amazing, but the head coach is a savant, and the team was great. And he was the finishing touch. That's what Burrow wants, too. Burrow sees the Stafford thing and says, let me do something like that.
Right.
But the one way the Jets can get around it is to say, well, he's under contract. I don't believe he has a no trade, does he?
I don't think so.
So he can't say I'm not going to the Jets. It's not like there's an extension you have to worry about. He's locked. So that like would he come and say I don't really want to be here? Like would he make it a problem? He can't. So
I don't think he threatened to retire.
All right, well, then retire.
And we'll see. But like,
and if that's why you got to put the caveat: if he retires, this trade is over.
The Jets are not an attractive place to play.
No,
comparatively
it's not.
speaking,
I keep trying to say it to people like we love having these dreams, but you got to understand
it depends on how much he wants out of Cincinnati. Like if he just hates Cincinnati, and listen, the Jets are a dumpster fire as far as wins and losses are concerned, but they treat their players well. They've got a world-class facility. Cincinnati's
that's all he's looking
mess.
For. Yeah, it's a better
Cincinnati's
place.
a mess. So if he just wants out, get me anywhere. Well, I'm not going to win here. I tried. The organization has no appetite to spend money. Every time we get a good player, they're holding out. I got to cross a highway to get to practice. When it's raining, there's no indoor facility. Get me the hell out of here. Any place is better than here.
That's still a wild story.
All right.
Man. That's
so it might not even be a case of I want to win. Yeah, you want to win, but you also want to go someplace where you feel like I could stay upright and that I can at least enjoy my experience. Maybe he loves New York. Like I don't think it would be a destination, but I also don't think he has much of a say. And if Cincinnati says, okay, we're going to trade you, but, dude, I'm not going to take less to make you happy. Go ahead and retire. I got the Jets on the horn. They want to give me 5 first-round picks. If you want out of Cincinnati, it's going to be New York or you're not going anywhere. Is he going to say no? I don't know. But he's got to call their bluff, right? I mean, so if he wants out, maybe the Jets aren't the most attractive place, but really it might just come down to anything but Cincinnati. And I'm not going to walk away from my contract.
I'm curious
then
to see
where does
this.
he go?
Yeah, look, this is a real story. We brought it up a couple of weeks ago as like a hypothetical because he looked miserable and he wasn't playing. And the Jets got all these picks, and I said, "What are you going to do?" That's what you do. You call Cincinnati and see if they dare to say no to you because we know they're cheap, and for them to get out of that contract, you could see it. But now he's starting to give you the smoke that I'm not happy here. Orlovsky's now believing it. The Bussin' with the boys guys, we're also talking about it on Get Up. This is not going away. Oh, do we have them too? Like let's hear them talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear
Who
them
do you want
talk.
first? Will or Taylor?
Whatever. You know what? Dealer's choice.
Will
Last
Compton.
week when he's talking about everything going on, and then they kind of ask him, like, do you see a world? And then they kind of zero in more on, like, hey, have you ever thought about it? And he kind of takes a moment to think about it, and he's like, yeah, man, I think about a lot of things. To me, I feel like Joe wants to get out of Cincinnati. I feel like he wants a better situation. And whether or not it's strong-arming the front office to make something happen around him that he wants to see, or he's trying to tell everybody else that, hey, I'm trying to figure out a way to get out of here, hit up my agent right now.
All right, and then Taylor?
We're talking about lineups of Joe Burrow and Tua. Like, Tua Tagovailoa is Knott's Berry Farms. Joe Burrow, that's Disney World, buddy. That's the kind of lines you're looking at with Joe Burrow. Like
Grand Floridian.
Every team that needs a quarterback will give up the world for Joe Burrow.
No question.
Joe Burrow understands that. So now the Bengals have two choices. Make drastic moves in the offseason or get rid of their franchise generational talent quarterback.
See, and Don, I remember saying this the other day when we talked about this. He does have the no trade. So that's, again, if you're the Jets, again, you are one of the sad sack organizations and you're looking for a savior. And he could look at you and go, that's not where I'm going. I've already played. I want to get away from that kind of madness.
Okay. Well, if he's got a blanket no trade, then he doesn't want to go anywhere. But now he wants to go somewhere. So you can wipe your behind with it then, because what does it matter? You'd waive it for certain teams, but I'm not going to cut off my nose to spite my face. You want to go someplace, that team can't offer me anywhere near where the Jets are offering me. Why am I going to do that? Why am I going to accommodate you? You want out. Go ahead, retire. See if you're going to walk away from that money. You're going to the Jets or retire. What is he going to do? Now, I don't know if it'll get to that, Alan. And maybe there are teams that maybe won't have exactly what the Jets can offer, but close enough where they'll go, okay, we'll do it. But if they're hot for those 5 first-round picks, if that's what the Jets offer, I don't even know they would go that far. But if they did, I just don't know how, if you're Joe Burrow and want to be out of there so bad, that you're going to play that game and say, no, I'm not going there. Well, you don't want to be here. You don't want to go there. What are you doing, Joe?
Look,
you're telling everybody and your mother how unhappy you are. What are you going to do?
When the season's over, they're going to have that exit interview. They're going to have that meeting of the minds. They'll have to figure all that out, right? All that's going to have to happen. I'm just saying that if it ever came to a point where I shouldn't even say what comes to a point. It already has come to a point. He's floating it out there. As a GM, it is on you. And Mike Tannenbaum told us this when we had him on last week. I said, what would you do if you were in this situation? And what he would do is make sure that they are prepared for anything, which includes the possibility of having a conversation with the Bengals about making a trade. You want to be in. You want to have everything prepared and everything ready to go. How you can sell it to them and all that stuff. You may never, ever use that approach. You may never need to even have that type of recruiting video you need to do, whatever it is, but you have to have it ready anyway. Prepare it already. The 99% probability you'll be throwing it all in the garbage, and it'll all be wasted time that you put into it. But it doesn't mean you don't prepare, because that 1% tells you have a chance. That's what you have to be doing right now if you're the Jets, and that's really all I'm trying to talk about here. Because what you don't want is all of a sudden it comes out at the end of the season, and now you're not prepared for it. Instead of being ahead of the game, you're chasing it. That's why I feel like if you're the Jets, the probability is low, but it doesn't mean you don't try, because you do have the assets to do it. That's why you have to be in on this. You can't just dismiss it. He's not going anywhere. He has a no trade. He won't want to come here. No. When you're the Jets, you can't think that way. You have to be prepared to do whatever it takes to get him. Make him say no. And if he does, hey, you tried.
And that means maybe having to live with the embarrassment of being told no. I don't want to play for you. Okay.
Shoot your shot, though.
Don't do what you did with Ben Johnson. Say, we're not interested, because you know he's going to say no. Let him say no.
Right.
Okay. And I'll just use that as motivation to try to get better and make you regret not coming here. 1-800-919-3776. Brad in Montclair. You're on ESPN New York. Hi, Brad.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, I just wanted to respond quickly, Don, to your absurd statement that Aaron Glenn has not underperformed expectations this year. And I get there's probably like a little trolling mixed in here. But, I mean, done. The team is a complete disaster. I mean, they are a disaster on every single in any type of criteria you can think about. I mean, the guy comes in here, all right, they won 5 games last year. They were, they had a good defense. I looked it up. They were 3rd in the NFL in yards per game. All right, they had a good defense, had all the same guys back. The guy's supposed to be a defensive coach. They just get ran through every single game. He just fired his defensive coordinator 2/3 through the season. I mean, the offense is a total disaster. As far as I know, he was the guy that sat down and called Aaron Rodgers out across country for a 15-minute meeting where he told him to
I don't buy that.
Get the hell out.
Brad, I don't buy. I think that was all performative.
Well,
to make it seem
but
like
whatever. But I mean, okay, fine.
But what were your expectations? They had a future Hall of Fame quarterback,
right? I mean,
wait a minute.
Is it not a legit expectation for the team to be better than it was last year? I mean, is that not a better?
How when you go from Aaron Rodgers to Justin Fields? Right there, right there.
What about
Aaron Rodgers was a good quarterback in the second half of the season, was he not?
The defense was good last year. All the same players back. He's a defensive coach.
They were
the defense
overrated.
Is terrible. The defense is terrible.
They were.
I'm just saying.
Listen, their defense was fine early in the season. They just couldn't score. If they had kept Aaron Rodgers, I remember having that conversation. If they had kept Aaron Rodgers, they'd probably win that Carolina game. They'd win that Miami game on Thursday night. They didn't have any quarterback play. Now, if you want to blame him for that, okay. But don't tell me there were expectations when you went from Aaron Rodgers to Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. Once Aaron Rodgers got over his Achilles, he was a good quarterback in the second half of the season. You still only won 5 games. And there was nothing to me more overrated, Alan, than how good this defense was.
Well, they were good. And
they had talent.
They were, and then they made the coaching change and they got better. Like when again, this all goes back to Woody. He fires Saleh, and that defense that was doing really well to start the season ended up falling to pieces.
It was a mess. But Sauce was overrated. Let's be honest. That was a good move trading him away because he was
getting
not
2
what we
picks
thought
for
he was
him
going to be.
for the money. Yeah, that's fine.
But
remember they were getting Jermaine Johnson back this year healthy, and they thought that's going to be an impact player.
Right.
They should have been a better defense. They
should have been a better defense.
That's on Steve Wilks.
All right, that's on Steve Wilks, and if you want to say that's on Aaron Glenn, I'm not saying he doesn't have flaws. Did make mistakes, but to Brad's point, they didn't live up to expectations. What were your expectations?
I agree.
That part. How many wins did you think this team was going to have when you go from Aaron Rodgers to Justin Fields? Now, Justin Fields ended up being awful. And if you want to believe that was all on Aaron Glenn, and he was the only one that wanted Justin Fields, come on. Really? Honestly. A defensive guy in Detroit, he came in and I want Justin Fields. I think he was told, Aaron Rodgers is not an option for you. He's gone. And they thought they'd catch lightning in a bottle with a guy, and I'll be honest, I was wrong too. I thought, hey, he's only 26, did some things in Chicago and Pittsburgh. Give it a try. It's kind of like a draft pick adjacent, right? Young enough kid that maybe, and it didn't work out. And they also had, no weapons. They couldn't stay healthy. It was just a mess offensively. And that was why they were losing games early on. That Carolina game, it was just back and forth, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, both teams. There were so many opportunities to win, and they didn't have a quarterback to throw the ball downfield. So when you say, what were your expectations? How many wins did you think this team was going to have? Now, maybe he wasn't as good as we thought he would be, but enough to get fired? That guy Thursday is coming up next. Damien Woody at 5:30, ENN at 6. All on Hahn Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Right now at Bay Ridge Honda, experience the wonder of holiday savings with the 12 days of deals during Happy Honda Days, like the Accord SE, only $299 per month, or the all-wheel drive HR-V LX for only $269 a month. The 12 days of deals on now during Happy Honda Days, plus receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 39 months lease, 7,500 miles per year, 2026 down, plus tax, tag, and fees. See dealer for full details.
Knicks fans, it's time for basketball, and the action starts on Friday at Goldie's Tavern with Team ESPN New York and Ultra. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Knicks bar to watch the game versus the 76ers, Goldie's Tavern is your destination. The party tips off at 6:30 p.m., and Team ESPN will be giving away ESPN, Ultra, and Knicks prizes. Join fellow Knicks fans on Friday at 135 West 30th Street. Cheer on your Knicks, enjoy Ultra Draft and bottle specials, and cool prizes all game long at Goldie's Tavern.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter. Listen up, New York. It's football season, and you should be out there enjoying every play, every tailgate, every moment. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. That's where Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain comes in. He's one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and dedicated to getting you back in the game. Here's the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided procedures that get real results. Dr. Shaw treats everything from neck pain, back pain, migraines, nerve pain, and chronic joint pain. And he builds a custom game plan that's right for you. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. And yes, most major insurances are accepted. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Go to SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. Just no easy way to get out of town right now. All of your approaches at the outbound George are crawling. Aside from the Henry Hudson, West Side Highway northbound, still have a crash in the right lane in the 120s. Delays there go back into the 50s. Cross Bronx westbound, going to run you almost an hour from the Bruckner on through. Inbound George, roadwork picked up on the upper deck, just about a 5 to 10 minute ride. Outbound Lincoln, going to run you about 45 minutes. We had an earlier crash on the Jersey side on the outbound Helix. Outbound Holland, going to run you the same. Not moving much on the belt westbound in Queens. A crash over by Lefferts Boulevard. Delays there go back to the Southern State and Cross Island. Eastbound side looks like an accident by Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn. Bumper to bumper there from the Verrazano. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State. With 10 minutes left in the second quarter, Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
of that one friend?
I'm talking about the yo-yos who set themselves on fire and bathe in pork and beans.
Or know that one person?
I'm here with my family.
Who can't help but be?
He's not cool. His voice is weird. He's kind of a dork. His brother's a tool. His girlfriend's annoying.
That guy.
I didn't know it was Banner night. We won't be out for that.
It's time for That Guy Thursday.
Hey guys, anyone want to play some ball?
With Don, Hahn Rosenberg.
He's just being that guy. I think that drop with Allen really makes the open for That Guy Thursday. Hey guys, you want to play some ball? That Guy Thursday is driven by Ramsey Mazda. Would you like to start?
I would, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
because this is more entertaining. I think this is it's you know how our intro starts. We all have that one friend.
Yes.
Jalen Brunson has that one friend, and we all love him. But what he brings to what he's brought to the team since the Knicks got him on the court, phenomenal play, all the things you love. But man, there are times where Josh Hart can be that guy.
Okay.
And again, he's a great guy, but there are times where it's like, did you really have to do that? So two cases this week. The first one is more just kind of like typical stuff we even do on this show. Somebody was asking Josh about Jalen Brunson and just how great of a scorer he is, and talking about that he's not really that tall, and yet in a sport of tall people, at 6'1", he's one of the great scorers. So Josh, of course, takes it and runs with it. Yeah, not physically impressive. I'm quoting him. Not physically impressive, not athletic. Right in front of Brunson. So Brunson's like going, "Hey, I'm right here." And he says, "But he can manipulate a defense." And then he goes, "Oh, you have the cut? All right, do you have the exchange of this? All right, play the exchange here. Listen to this, Don. Now, this is only part of the story."
Josh, I want to ask you this because I think you would answer honestly. When you factor in his height and not the most athletic,
Jesus,
you've said it. You've said it.
You didn't have to say it though.
How many guys in the NBA do you think score the basketball better than he does?
Probably not many. He's barely 6 foot guard.
This is your fault.
Not physically impressive, not athletic, but he's able to manipulate defense. Obviously, big head, so he has a big brain. He's able to, figure out those angles and find himself in positions to be successful. So, inch for inch, I think he's probably the best one.
He went inch for inch, probably the best. So that was a couple of days ago. Then came the Knicks won the game on Wednesday, and they had the celebration. Of course, the NBA brought out the cup and the whole thing, and they want the team to lift the cup. The confetti's coming down. So it's a moment where you're only focused on all right, we're celebrating. We're going to pick up this cup. Brunson lifts the cup up. I think other players also put their hands up with it. They're holding it up in the air. To his left is Josh Hart, who proceeds, and if you're watching, everybody sees it, to take his thumb and do, check the oil on Brunson.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Did he need any?
And Brunson, you could see Brunson stops and turns around real quick and stares at him it's almost like, when you obviously you have your son. When my son was little, there were times I was like, not here. You just let him know.
Oh, yeah.
You're acting up, and I know you're trying to be funny, but this is not the place. He turns, and he looks, and so Hart's face as he pulls his thumb away is almost embarrassed. After the game, he's like, "Man, I got caught in 4K." That's just, again, we all have that one friend. Josh Hart's that one friend. And in a couple of cases this week, while the Knicks were on the national stage, he was being that guy. And all I know is that if the Knicks do ever win a championship, the first thing Jalen Brunson's going to make sure is Josh Hart's nowhere near him.
Yeah, because
when he's at the podium trying to accept an award.
Right. If the NBA Cup, that happens, what would the actual championship be? I don't even want to think about it.
You don't want to think about it, but that, him in that moment, Don, aren't you going, are you really thinking about doing something like that in that moment? In that moment, you're like, what happens if I take my thumb and just poke Jalen right in the butt? What would happen?
Well,
why would he think that? Why would that come to mind in that moment?
I don't know.
I don't understand it.
The NBA Cup, you're checking the oil. An NBA championship, what are you, like, replacing the transmission?
Oh,
like,
my God.
What are you doing? Complete engine overhaul?
It's just
but there's an
Gave the
example.
undercarriage a how's your uncle?
Yeah, there's an example of that guy is not necessarily bad guy.
No, it's not. No, Again, it's not bad guy. It's just that guy.
Yeah,
Everybody,
exactly.
we all have that one friend. So when I heard that intro, I'm like, oh, we all do. Jalen does. It's his best friend. And in that moment, you saw his face like, really? Here? Right here? In front of all these people? Tremendous. I have a friend like that, my buddy Ben.
Well,
he'd be there for me no matter what. He would save my life. If I came to him and said, I got a shovel, come with me, don't ask any questions, he would be in the car with me wherever we were. Like, he wouldn't ask a question. Let's go. But I also know that in certain moments, like special moments, he definitely would find a way to make it embarrassing for me.
Oh, yeah.
For his own enjoyment.
I have friends like that too. That it just becomes like, what can I do to just really cross the line? And you can't really get mad at me because we're best friends.
You know I'm like that. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to tell you a quick story. I don't even know if it's on brand, but it's Thursday. And you could dump it if you want. The YouTube people have seen and heard worse.
Okay.
So I'm working at phone programs. And that was the 976 numbers. They owned Sports Phone, but Sports Phone was a Sanford brand. So before I could get to Sports Phone, I had to work at phone programs. And, the Dial-A-Joke and the Samantha Fox channel and all that stuff. One of the things I had to do that I got to voice, which was cool, was some of the lotteries at different states. And it was the Pennsylvania lottery, and I had to voice the lottery for it. So I'd get the numbers, and I put the numbers down. And
you were Yolanda Vega?
Yeah, but it was just you'd have to call the 976 number to hear me. And I didn't introduce myself, and just these are the numbers.
Okay.
So the way phone programs was right behind PJ Clark's, 3rd and 55th, I think. So that's where it was located. Building's still there, but it's phone programs. And it was like on the 15th floor. And we kind of had the place to ourselves, like after hours. And sometimes we'd invite some friends up and all that. And so my buddy's there with a girl he was friends with that was a smoke show. Okay? And she was flirty. And I was single. Mm-hmm. Who knows, right?
Right.
I had no game, but she didn't know that at the time.
Who cares?
So my back is to the two of them. And I'm doing the Pennsylvania lottery. Giving the numbers. And all of a sudden, someone goes there. Big handful, then let's go. And I'm praying. I still don't know to this day who it was. Well, I do know, but still holding out hope that maybe it wasn't my friend Tim.
Gave you a handshake.
But for that brief moment, it could be her.
Yeah, you never know. Only one way to find out.
But knowing Tim, and Tim wouldn't have done that if it was just him. He did it because he wanted my mind to be split in that second. Like, maybe.
Oh, yeah, he had an audience.
Maybe Don's getting lucky during the Pennsylvania lottery. So I know exactly what you're talking about because he would go there. He would go there just for the story. You know what I mean?
Just for the sport. Just for the for the story. Exactly.
So to be on national television and, checking Brunson's oil, that's that's.
It was such a I think it's one of those if you know moments,
right? Because
those of us who have been around these two for the last couple of years, in the locker room, the stuff that they say to you, like the minute he did it, I'm like, what the hell did he just do? And I had to rewind. Like, did he? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
And we all laughed about it, but the internet didn't laugh about it. The internet was like, They were unsure. But no, that's just Josh being Josh, and it was hysterical. But he's also being that guy. We all have that one friend.
Mine is going to be Puka Nacua, of course, the wide receiver for the Rams. And listen, I'm not going to get into the one thing he apologized for, but I'm going to get into something a little bit more mundane, but still frustrating. Him still being that guy. He was on the Aiden Ross podcast talking about the officials being against the Rams and how they're just looking for attention.
You think the refs be sometimes?
Oh, 100%. I'm like, yes, the refs are the worst because there's just some of the rules aren't. And like these guys are lawyers and like they want to be on TV too, bro. Like he's texting his friends in the group chat like, yo, you guys just saw me Sunday Night Football. Like that was
no way.
Like that wasn't PI. Like, but I called it. I was like,
seriously, they do that?
I mean, these guys are normal human beings too, bro. Like
cheaters, bro. I don't care.
He's making that up.
I hope so. But still, why would you go there? You think you're going to get calls now when you're calling the officials that they're throwing flags so they can be shown on television, Sunday Night Football? Listen, like he said, they're humans. So is there a little bit of attention, I guess, right, that goes into that? But it's a serious allegation, and really the Rams are in first place in the conference. Do you really want to upset the officials? You're kind of being that guy, right? And why would they be against the Rams, for God's sakes?
It's bizarre. Well, he was on quite a tour this week, with some of the stuff he was saying on these things. But what I think we keep learning, of course, is that you can be extremely physically talented and still be a dumbass.
Yeah, I'm sure the Rams talked to him about that, right?
Like, everybody wants to hear from celebrities and wants to hear, like, what do you think of politics and what do you think of raising children and what do you think of this and what do you think of the world and all. And it's like, you know what? No, you don't really need to know. Just because you're famous or just because you're athletic, it doesn't mean that you have this command over what's great in the world or what's right in the world or have any idea what the hell you're talking about. Like, that's him. You know what he's doing there? He's just BSing. That's all. He's just shooting it. You know what I mean? That's all he's doing.
I hear you.
And we all do it sometimes, and you just kind of like, but he's also doing it as a famous person, and it's being recorded and it being put out in the world. Wasn't very smart.
No, I don't think that was the way you wanted to handle it. Now, I do believe that
he also, by the way, said concussions are all in your head. You just can't think about it. I don't know if he was trying to do his, pun intended or what.
Probably not.
Very strange.
There are times, though, I do think that they try to get attention, whether it's a home plate umpire with a grandiose strike call.
Oh, you're right. I agree.
Wes McCauley in the NHL, he just longs to just his mic's always on, right? And he's always so proud to give those penalties. There was one official, I was just trying to look, I can't remember who it was. It was a Devil game where he was there was the Devil game, the Columbus game where there were like 4 fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
he would go to he would announce the penalties, and for people on YouTube, and I'll try to describe it for the people listening audio-wise, he would say, 5 minutes for fighting, and he would really big time start like put the dukes up, and he would say 5 for fighting and start.
Yeah.
He would start, jab cross, like 3 or 4 times, like, and I picked up on it. And I said something to Kenny, and he didn't notice it. And then there was another fight, and I said, what? And he's like, oh, let's see. Because he knows the camera's on him, and it wasn't anything wrong, but that might be where they get their 15 minutes. Where who was the official for Marty Lyons with the Jets? He was giving him the business. I forget who the official was. Like, I think on those moments when they've got the whole nation watching, they're on the mic, that they might give it a little extra, but they're throwing a flag to do that. When they're evaluated constantly and could miss out on playoff games if they screw things up enough.
Yes, you lose jobs because of it. So, yeah,
it's not.
Bill Kennedy in the NBA is similar to Wes McCauley. Bill Kennedy, when he gets the chance to do the review, because now you get on they hear you in the arena, but you're also on TV. You look into the camera. And you tell the audience in the building and on television and radio what the result is of the review of the coach's challenge. And Bill Kennedy, he has one of these radio voices. Like, he's really good not only with the sound of his voice, but the inflection and how he uses it. Like, he could do voiceover work. He's really good. And he likes to put a little flair.
Right.
So he, with the reviews, he'll say, that this is what happened. And he'll have like dramatic pause, and then at the end he'll say challenge successful, like, and he'll make faces
with that little.
It's so funny but he does make it about him in that moment, but it's not affecting the game, and he's not the one making the call. It's what they're telling him in his ear.
Right, but he's being a little performative.
But he's definitely being performative, and he definitely is kind of like, feeling himself in that moment. Right. So it does happen. They are human. But Puka's being that guy.
And That Guy Thursday is driven by Ramsey Mazda. It's the experience of driving a new Mazda and buying a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. More of your calls coming up at 1-800-919-3776. Damien Woody will join us at 5:30. ENN at 6. Then at 6:30, it's the Knicks and the Pacers on ESPN New York.
Round 1 of the college football playoff.
Let's go!
Tomorrow, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon.
Round 1 coverage on 1050, 880, and the ESPN New York app.
Bet 3. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
With Progressive Customer Service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last 2, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text. Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The NBA is happening Christmas Day. 5 games, 1 unforgettable lineup.
That's what Christmas is all about.
Buckets for breakfast, breakaways for dessert. It's the holiday tradition.
Christmas is our day.
With star power from across the globe.
The stars, they are going to be out.
The best gift, you don't even have to unwrap it.
want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
NBA Christmas Day begins at noon Eastern on ABC and ESPN.
When you're streaming Stranger Things on Netflix,
hurry!
Okay, wait. Shh. Don't take slow for an answer. Switch to Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds, starting at $25 a month. And this holiday season, get Netflix and so much more on us. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today.
Whoa, did you see that?
Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Netflix subscription required. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Wow. Nothing Else Matters off the Metallica Black album.
The Black Album.
It's a monster album.
That's a no-skip album, my friend.
Yeah, that's very, very good. They got a lot of heat for this because it's a ballad. It's not even a power ballad. It's just a ballad. But it's kind of what Metallica's about.
This is a great, obviously, it's off the album, but the S&M version.
Oh, with the orchestra? Yeah, it's fantastic.
Of this song? Unreal.
Yeah, it is really, really good.
Unreal.
Before we get back to your phone calls, 1-800-919-3776, I saw a tweet, and I could probably dig it up to give credit for who asked about it. But somebody had asked us earlier on why there has never been a 30 for 30 about that Islander team that won 19 consecutive series. And listen, I know it's the Islanders and they don't have a huge fan base, but 30 for 30 doesn't have to tap into only Islander fans watching something that's never happened before. 19 straight series and the Hall of Fame players and the great stories and all that. And you had mentioned that there was the Spano one, so there has been the Big Shot, but that's more.
Kevin Connolly did that. It was his passion. He based it off the book that Peter Body and I did called Fish Sticks, and he took a big chunk of that book and turned it into an incredible 30 for 30 that is unreal, entertaining as all hell.
Oh,
so
yeah.
well done.
No,
I dropped a little bit there. But I will say this, though, Don, because I did also do a book called Birth of a Dynasty, which is about the Islanders Dynasty. And I tried to make that I tried to sell that as a 30 for 30 option as well as the last real dynasty in sports, 4 straight. And I don't think it'll ever be done again, because it's just too hard to do, especially in the cap world. Yeah. And that's what you said is the reason why I got that it's probably not going to happen, because it's not a big enough fan base, and they already had one about them.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is a sports story, though.
But think about what you just said about listen, Kevin Connolly's a big name, so that probably was attractive to sell that. But it was an interesting story, but it doesn't paint the Islanders in a very good light. And yes, there are not a ton of Islander fans across the country, but I will tell you, those names pop. In the hockey world, they pop, and it matters. And it's something that always those teams get talked about. The current Islanders or the state of the Islanders or the Islanders as a whole may not get talked about a lot around the league, but you start talking to historians, you start talking to people that love hockey, Bossy, Potvin, Smith, they know these players, and that was a big deal. And just to see 19 straight series, I just love documentaries, any subject. So it's not even really the subject of the Islanders per se, just for a team to be able to go that many, so 4 straight cups, 19 straight series wins,
5
I
straight
think is
finals,
definitely
amazing,
something to talk about. Now, on that note,
yes,
I went out to dinner with a couple of buddies of mine last night.
Nice.
And there wasn't really anything going on, so the Devil game wasn't until 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we were at the bar, and we were having some dinner. And who do I see? It was right around the time they were asking me, so what's it like to work with Alan Hahn? Is Alan Hahn a nice guy? And as I was telling everybody how great you are, the big TV in the restaurant at the Stagehouse, it's you. And it was from MSG had done, I don't know what the name of the show or whatever it was, but specifically talking about the Santa Claus night at the Coliseum.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody dressed as Santa Claus on the ice, and then some Ranger fans got on the ice, and they got pummeled, and and you were prominent in that. And the other thing is, I don't know whether you got pulled from something else or you weren't prepared, but you had like a beard going. But it wasn't a full beard. It's like you didn't shave, but you had like stubble on your face, and I had never seen you like that before.
Wow.
You don't remember that?
No. Well, I remember doing that. I don't know what that was. That a short, whatever that was. I remember doing that.
I looked up and they had MSG on because they were showing the New York Sirens was on MSG.
I covered that game. That's one of the reasons why they probably pulled me in on. I was doing Knicks at the time that we recorded that. It wasn't too long ago, but I don't remember having a beard. Normally, I wouldn't do that for TV.
It is something to see someone you know on TV, and it's like Jumbotron, like full screen, your face. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see.
But you didn't take a picture and send it to me like everybody else does.
I did.
My cousin, God bless her. Every time she sees me on TV, she takes a picture of it and sends it to me.
That's cool. Well,
I'm like, look at that. It's just funny. But you didn't do that.
I still get a kick out of there's a spot that runs on MSG about the Gotham Sports app, and they do real quick. You see a flash of me and Kenny, and I thought that was kind of cool. That I'm on there. I'm on on the commercial. I still don't get over little things like that. Like stuff like that doesn't get
never
over.
do never because it's such a cool thing.
It's always a lot of fun.
Listen. Anytime I just hear you boys on MSG or like they show a commercial, I'm like, look at my two boys. Look at Don. Look at Alan.
Pop up, right? Yeah,
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's cool.
Point at the screen like Leo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait,
no reference?
But
Nothing?
I'm missing it. No, I'm trying to do it. When he's sitting
Don,
back.
I thought like the movie.
When he sits back and then he points to the screen.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
That's
a great
meme
scene.
or a GIF or whatever. He's like,
he's fired up.
Yeah. And so
there you are.
That's awesome. A guy that was the characters on the cover of Mad Magazine. He had been in movies, and he still got a kick out of him doing a guest spot in, what was the TV show again? Forget what the TV show was.
I don't remember it, but the whole movie was so bizarre, but it's so entertaining.
I loved it. They came out, somebody, I think it was IMDb, tweeted out like the top 10 Tarantino movies, and they had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood like 7. I'm like, that's got to be higher, man.
Yeah, I agree.
That's got to be higher.
No,
Pulp Fiction was 1.
Of course.
I think, they had
Dusk Till Dawn?
No.
That's not in the top 5?
No.
Oh, come on.
Just trying to, off the top of my head, I think it was Pulp Fiction was 1.
Okay.
Was it Inglourious Bastards 2?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just maybe I could probably try to find it, but he's got some really good movies. He's making a lot of. I don't know whether he's become that guy. Where now all he's doing is like criticizing other actors and stuff, and getting he's ripping people.
Just got old and angry.
I guess he's got old and angry, and I was like, "What are you doing that for, man? That's not nice."
Old and angry,
but
just don't be old and angry.
I guess it's working for him. 1-800-919-3776. We got a big 5 o'clock hour.
The chat's saying Reservoir Dogs. How do we forget
Reservoir
that?
Dogs was 4. I think
4.
Yeah, that was his first movie.
That was good though,
and
still holds up today.
Are you talking about IMDb's list?
Yes.
Number 2 was Inglourious Bastards. 3 was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
3 was?
3.
Yes.
I saw something different.
I think
that deserves to be high.
Yeah, 7 was Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown's underrated.
I like Jackie Brown. That was a good movie.
The problem with Jackie Brown, not a problem, but I think it was his first movie after Pulp Fiction, so it wasn't going to live up to because Pulp Fiction was just a monster.
Yep.
But that's a very, very good movie, too. But reset the 5 o'clock hour. Damien Woody's going to join us coming up at 5:30. ENN at 6. Don, Hahn Rosenberg on ESPN in New York. But I got to let you know there are many reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings during the More to Move You event. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-5 2.5S all-wheel drive for $229 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN S077553. MSRP $30,920. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26. Don, Hahn Rosenberg on ESPN New York.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. It's a slow crawl on the Belts eastbound. Just picks up a crash over by Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn. Still jammed there from the Verrazano. You stay on the brakes eastbound. Some heavy slowdowns heading over to JFK and Queens. All of your approaches, the outbound George, pretty bad. Still have this accident on the West Side Highway northbound in the 120s. Right lane is out. Been out there for over an hour. You're starting to back up to the Intrepid. Deegan northbound, just bumper to bumper heading over the Cross Bronx. Delays go back across the Triborough into Queens and up onto the Bruckner. Inbound George about 10 to 15 for the upper deck. Outbound Lincoln, your best ride at 30 to 40. Outbound Hull now close to an hour. Inbound at both of your tunnels about a 30 to 35 minute ride. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit MAD.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Blue Shirts fans, it's time for Rangers hockey, and the action starts on Saturday at Blue Haven South with Team ESPN New York and Ultra. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Rangers bar to watch the game versus the Flyers, Blue Haven South is your destination. The party tips off at 12 p.m., and ESPN will be giving away plenty of ESPN prizes. Join fellow Rangers fans on Saturday at 121 Fulton Street and enjoy Ultra draft and bottle specials all day long. It all happens at Blue Haven South.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
No gift? No problem. With Target's last-minute gifts, the holidays are a breeze. You can score on the hottest toys, beauty must-haves, chocolatey stocking stuffers, and much more. And if you need it now, no worries. Swing by any Target store today and snag all the stocking stuffers and gifts for the most magical season yet. Step into the holidays, check off everything on your list, and save big on your last-minute gifts. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
5:03 in the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg with you till 6:30, and then we've got Knicks and Pacers. Damien Woody's going to join us at 5:30.
Oh, yeah.
We touched on this at the beginning of the show, but it's worth diving into a little bit more. You still have the NBA Cup haters, people that just don't get it, don't want it, rooted against the Knicks. Now they've won it, don't want a banner, all that. But the one thing that I think is a serious conversation about the tournament in itself is that can it wear you out? Where you're playing one extra game, you're going to Vegas to play as the Knicks did on Saturday against Orlando, and then was it Saturday? Saturday, and then they played Tuesday. So they had some time off, but time off in Vegas for NBA players is probably not rest and relaxation. Let's be honest. And now Alan's going to read to you as of 5:04 the questionable players for the game tonight in Indiana against the Pacers.
It starts with OG Anunoby listed as questionable with a left knee contusion.
Not nobody.
Mitchell Robinson, left ankle injury management. First game of a back-to-back. He hasn't played in both games, and there's a home game tomorrow, so you can understand that one. Karl-Anthony Towns, questionable with left knee soreness, something we saw him deal with the left knee in the second half of Wednesday's game, the NBA Cup final. He did finish the game, but still listed as questionable. And last but not least, Josh Hart, that guy today, who has an amazing injury report here. Questionable with rectus abdominis strain.
I don't know.
So that's 4 players in your rotation. 3 of them are starters. And we'll see who is available tonight in Indiana to play against a Pacer team that's also ravaged with injuries. There's no Halliburton, no Neesmith, no Obi Toppin. Like, they're missing a ton of guys. They have the worst record in the NBA right now. And so, and again, like I said, they play the Sixers tomorrow night at home. You're going to value that game more.
Sure.
They are now, though, Don, if you count Wednesday and the travel, by Sunday they will have played 4 games in 6 days. That's your reward for going to the Cup and playing in that championship game. It's the schedule. It's the way it is, whatever. I don't know why you would have a back-to-back off of anything with the Cup, but they do. So do you punt this game tonight? Do you sit guys because you want to make sure that you don't get something that turns into a lingering injury as important games come up? You certainly want everybody available for Christmas Day, as we know. That's a big game at the Garden against the Cavs next week. And there are some, I'm not saying that this is what the Knicks, they could play everybody tonight. But it is like kind of the post-Tibbs era, which Tibbs would not be for it, but Mike Brown has been a little bit more reasonable when it comes to resting players and understanding the way the schedule works. You played in a game Wednesday that meant something when it comes to winning something, but it meant nothing to the season. It didn't count.
Right.
This game counts. So the Knicks are 18-7, regardless of the win Wednesday. This game counts, and it feels like this might be a game where you might have to say, we're going to sit some guys and just make sure they're right because we don't want them breaking down. That's one of the things where I feel like the NBA Cup game should count because there is this logic of, wait, I played 40 minutes and played my ass off in a game that doesn't count to the regular season, but now because of it, I might sit some guys in a game that counts.
And
there's
for
some
all
logic that doesn't make sense there.
Now, for all the reasons that people hate on the NBA Cup, this is a reason that makes some sense to me. Not enough for me to just throw it away, but I can understand somebody saying, do I really want to put my team that's a favorite to make it to the NBA Finals in a compromised situation because they had to play extra games and get extra travel? And now, like the Detroit Pistons, who they're battling with for first in the conference, didn't have to worry about that. All right, they didn't have to worry about the extra game. They didn't have to worry about traveling to Vegas to play what was perceived to be meaningful games, and could that be something that helps them down the road? Now, they're playing Indiana, and they should be able to win this game regardless. But I asked you this earlier, and you don't have an answer. You can't get into the heads of Knicks management, but would they have treated this game any differently had this game been in Detroit against the Pistons as opposed to a banged-up Pacer team? Where that would hurt.
I'm going to say no. In Detroit, I'm going to say no.
Okay, so now, all right, so
home,
now
yes, different.
All right, now we play the game of, all right, because it's the Pistons, maybe we get these guys to play. And you got to play against the Sixers because that's a home game against the divisional opponent. And now somebody gets compromised because now they played 3 games in 4 nights and they pushed it. So you put yourself in a tough situation because that's the one thing.
I'm sorry, I got an update for you.
Okay,
because Mike Brown is speaking now. The game is a 7:00 tip. OG is playing.
Okay.
Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Towns are out. So 3 rotation pieces, both your centers, not playing in this game.
Okay.
Now, again, the Pacers are also injury ravaged. If there's ever a time to do it, this is the time to do it. So I understand it, but that's just officially tonight. So you're getting that tonight. You're getting 3 rotation players out. We already knew that Deuce was out. He's been injured. So if you think about it, it's really 4, but they've already been playing without him. But OG will play. That says a lot about OG, by the way, because he's playing like an all-star, and he's got to know that the most important thing for him to do is to keep playing games so that no one can use any excuses against him about, well, he misses time because he's injured. He wants to make sure he puts that to rest. So you still have Brunson, you still have Bridges, you still have OG Anunoby.
Now, it's still early in the season. The Knicks are 2.5 games back of the Pistons, 2 in the loss column. But every game means something, right? You want to be able to get to first place if you can. You got a nice cushion between 2 and 3. So it's really right now just about, do I want to finish in first or second? It probably doesn't matter much, but it'll matter if you play the Pistons in the conference final and they've got home court. Although it didn't matter last year when you played them. They seem to play better in Detroit than you did at home.
Yeah.
But this seems to be 2 different teams, so I don't know how much last year really would apply to prognosticating that series. But I'm telling you, we've got an open tomorrow on a football Friday if the Knicks lose this game to the Pacers. Because that will add a lot of fuel to the fire of, really, what do we do? We won a cup, and as nice as that might be, it compromised the next regular season game. Pistons have won 4 straight.
So you're saying at what cost, right? That's what you're saying.
And if you go extrapolate it out to the end of the season and you lose out on the conference by 1 game, you'd be like, oh, well, maybe that Pacer game, maybe if we didn't lose that game. That's the only one. The hurting your chances to win because this isn't what it's about, or being made fun of by teams outside of New York or fans outside of New York, or like all that stuff is ridiculous. This is something that I think has some teeth. Now, they go out and win the game by 20 anyway, which they're certainly capable of doing, because you said the Pacers aren't good and banged up. Well, then it was strategy that worked, and it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, that's all you want to see. And if you have Jalen Brunson, you have the best player on the floor.
Of course. You have Brunson. You have OG.
Anunoby can guard Siakam, who's their best player. So it's like you still have an answer. You don't have a lot of size. I mean, it's a big Huck-Porty game, obviously. That's good to see. A guy like Yabusele, who hasn't really found his footing, good game for him against a team that's struggling. So, it makes tonight even more interesting if you ask me. It does make it like interesting. But you know what else I was thinking about, Don? And we have some interesting audio. That I saw this conversation too. When after winning and playing the way they played also through this whole cup thing, the 3 games in a row that they won and the way they won and how they looked and the chemistry that's really starting to develop. We spent a lot of time talking about Giannis. And Giannis wants to be traded. Giannis wants to be a Knick, and should the Knicks do it? And we had all kinds of how they could do it. And I keep telling everybody doing it during the regular season is very difficult, and I don't see it. But people are really pushing the idea of this is a superstar, and you need to get him so somebody else doesn't. And then there's this thought of, wow, they're playing so well, maybe they shouldn't trade for Giannis. And then Giannis spoke. Do we have it, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so here's Giannis speaking about the situation that is around him, which is the source-based reporting that he wants out of Milwaukee, that he wants to go to New York, and he's started up again the conversation with the Bucks about trading him sooner rather than later.
My agent is talking to the Bucks about it. He's his own person. He can have any conversation he wants. At the end of the day, I don't work for my agent. My agent works for me. And it's going to be a conversation that's going to be made between him and the Bucks and him and his other players and him and other teams and other GMs, executives around the league. It's something that you can't control. But at the end of the day, I personally have not had the conversation with the Bucks. I'm still locked in on my teammates.
What do you make of that, Don? That if my agent is talking to the Bucks about it, that's him. He can have any conversation he wants. But I don't work for him. He works for me.
And that's the way it should be.
It's, he said, I have not had a conversation with the Bucks and that I'm locked in on the team. What do you make of that?
That he knows that he's not going anywhere this year. Right? So what? And this is probably where he's going to have to be for the rest of the season, and might as well just lock in on that, and then we'll see what happens in the offseason.
It's interesting because it's almost as if he's saying there's no blood on my hands. He doesn't. It's just like Lillard went through this too. He just doesn't want to say trade me.
No,
because he doesn't want that in his like none of these guys. Like who was demanding a trade that just you don't see it. Players don't want to be that. They don't want to leave because they know that, they're going to burn my jerseys. They're going to know I didn't want to be here. He doesn't want that legacy.
It's that, but it's also, like I said, well, if it may not happen this year. And now you got to play for the team and everybody knowing that you want to be traded, and the only reason you're still there is they couldn't get it done and they got to wait till the offseason. So you might as well at least give some idea of, like, I never said anything because I might still have to be here because he knows it's probably not going to happen this season.
Right.
So, because it always happens. You look at Quinn Hughes, right? And not that he ever demanded a trade, but he was a guy that everybody knew he wasn't going to re-sign with Minnesota. He turned down all their offers, had 2 years left on his contract, and they were going to have to trade him. And he got traded. I mean, because that's what's going to happen. Vancouver had no choice but to deal him. And so the player usually always gets his way. That's why we think Joe Burrow, there's some meat on that bone.
Yep.
But the timing of it, that is beyond the control of the player, right? So I think the Quinn Hughes stuff, you knew it was going to happen. It was just inevitable it was going to happen. But it's inevitable it's going to happen with Milwaukee, but the timing of it doesn't seem, because there was an urgency, because Minnesota's good, right? So they wanted to get him to try to see if they can compete with Colorado and Dallas in their own division. Vancouver's not going anywhere. And so why waste time? He becomes less attractive deeper into the season or waiting till the offseason when he only's got a year left in his contract. So it made sense to deal him right away. Quinn knew that, and it was going to happen. That's the only thing that's different about the Giannis thing is that it doesn't have to happen now. Doesn't. There isn't that sense of urgency that it has to happen now. If anything, as you said many times, it makes sense for it to happen during the offseason. So shouldn't he just play it like, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not involved in this. There's no blood on my hands because there's a very good chance that he is going to be here for the rest of the season. Right. And maybe they sneak into a play-in and might, make it into a playoff type of a position where it's not a complete waste of time that he's here. Because what is their record now?
Yeah, I have no.
Plus, he's not playing right now, so it's not like anybody's going to be dealing.
They lost a ton of games in a row recently, and it really looked like they were going the wrong way. But for me, I've been trying to convince everyone that this is not happening, and I understand the excitement because of who it is. But by the way, they're 11-16.
Right, but they're half game out of the 10 seed, so it isn't crazy to think.
No, it's not. Well, because look at the teams below them: Hornets, Nets, Pacers, Wizards. Right. None of them are going to be. So they're going to make it by default.
Right, but that's still like if you know you're going to be here and there are going to be meaningful games to play and you're going to be in the postseason, then you got to try to make that work.
Right, but you're not if you're the Knicks and the way they're playing right now, you're not trading. You're not blowing up your roster for Giannis right now, especially a Giannis who's got a calf strain, and you're not doing that right now. If the Knicks had gotten off to a stumbling start like the Cavs did, this would be loud as hell, Don.
Yes.
But because they look like it's starting to click, and Mike Brown is starting to figure it out, and the team is starting to come around, you don't want to mess with this right now. And if you're Giannis, I'll tell you what, you don't want to mess with this right now. Because if they trade for you and blow the roster up and you get there, the people are going to be mad as hell at you if you don't play out of your mind and win a championship. This is going to be something that I think if he wants to really be here, he's got to wait till the summer and see how the chips fall. Because if the Knicks get to the finals, they're not going to blow it up. They're not. But if they struggle or fall short or fail, then he's got a better chance at one of those, we've got to make a choice here before because these guys are in their prime. We might have to do something. But right now, not happening. He's got to know it. And he also knows everybody in Milwaukee staring at him going, dude, are you staying or are you going? What are you doing? If I'm a teammate of his right now, I'm like, are you playing? Are you in or out? What are you? So he has to say this, blame his agent, and say, I'm here. Right now, I'm focused on Milwaukee. Yeah. That's all he can say.
And that's all we've said from the beginning is just be patient. Be patient if you're the Knicks. Be patient if you're Giannis. This is going to happen. All right, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen on the timeline you want. Well, you're on a Bucks team that's a half.
Might not happen.
And so we'll see there
if they win.
But with the Quinn Hughes stuff, for people that don't follow, the Minnesota Wild are in third place in the Western Conference Central Division. The first place and second place teams, Colorado and Dallas, are literally the two best teams in the NHL. Like, they are 1-2, 55 points and 49 points respectively. So Minnesota's like, I like my team, but as presently constituted, we might not make it out of the first round.
Yep. Because
of who we had, the format, and we've got two of the best teams in the league in our own division. If the Pistons had a 7-game lead and looked like the Thunder of the East, then maybe you feel like, hey, I can't have this happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we could beat the Pistons. But even if you finish behind them, you've got a better than average chance of being able to beat them as presently constituted. There isn't the sense of urgency, I need this. Now, if you want to think long-term and say, I don't think we could beat the Thunder in the final, but
Let me find that out. Let me find that out first, Don.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
First of all, let's find that out, because we all thought we were going to play the Thunder in the Cup and ended up being the Spurs.
That's
right?
kind of yep.
You never know.
I want to find out. I want to know what I got here. And that's why, especially because you're off to a good start. They're playing well. They're starting to click. Number 2 offense in the NBA, by the way. Number 2. Top 10 defense. All right, this is not – we're over 20 games now. You're well into the season now. You know who you are at this point, or at least have an idea who you are. Mm-hmm. And they're not really at full health, although they're remarkably healthy right now. And so you've got an idea of what this team is. And so I got to feel like I want to see what this team can do first. I don't want to blow this thing up. Now, as I said, if you got off to a start like the Cavs did, and the Cavs right now, they're frustrated in Cleveland. They don't know what's going on. I could see them making moves.
Yeah.
Because they thought they'd have a better year building off last year, and they have not. But the Knicks are fine right now. They don't need to do anything. Let's go on a run. Let's see what this team's got. Let me find out what we look like in a 7-game series. If again, if you're blessed to get to the finals and play them, that's a great year, and now you have a chance to see how you measure up. And at the end, if you realize we're not that good, we're not good enough to beat this team in a 7-game series, then maybe you have to then start reconsidering, well, if we can get a guy like that, maybe that puts us over the top. You do it. But you don't blow up your roster in the middle of the season to do it, especially when your team is playing as well as this team is playing right now.
If you're the Cavaliers, if you're the Heat, the Heat now aren't playing.
The Heat would love to do it.
The Sixers are a game away from falling into the play-in. But the Knicks are in good shape. I think they've played where they deserve a chance to see if they can do it this year. And if you get swept by the Thunder in the final, like, all right, listen, we're going to have to do something. Or if, God forbid, you don't make it to the final, then you got to do something.
Yeah,
but
then I think it's real.
Think they've done enough here to make it feel like I want to see what happens here, and then we'll evaluate in the offseason. And the best case scenario is you don't have to do a damn thing, don't have to give up anything, and be a championship contender. Hold off on the phone calls, because what we're going to do is we're going to talk to Damien Woody. It's Thursday, 5:30. We talked to D. Wood, see if he saw Napoleon Dynamite. I doubt very seriously he did. We've got ENN at 6, take up until 6:30, then it's Knicks Pacers here on ESPN New York.
Round 1 of the college football playoff. Let's go! Tomorrow, Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Then on Saturday, it's Miami at Texas A&M. Followed by Tulane at Ole Miss. And finally, James Madison at Oregon. Round 1 coverage on 1050, 880, and the ESPN New York app.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $159 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM839072. MSRP $26,690. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
Hey, it's Michael K. talking to you about my friends at PC Richard & Son. They're local, family-owned, and I trust them, and you can too. Right now, save on all holiday gifts for everyone on your list. And with their holiday price guarantee, your price is protected. If the price goes lower from now through December 24th, they will match it. You can't beat it. Plus, you get fast and free delivery. PC Richard & Son, the company you could trust for over 116 years. Free delivery excludes Manhattan.
The college football playoffs are here. Join one of the nation's top sports betting analysts, Joe Wiz, Saturday at 8 a.m. on the Fine Line. Miami takes on Texas A&M. Ole Miss and Oregon are heavily favored. Will they both cover? In the NFL, first place is on the line when Green Bay travels to Chicago. Plus, in college hoops, St. John's takes on Kentucky. The Wiz has you covered. Follow on Instagram at Joe Wiz Sports. It's the best bet in town. The Fine Line with the Wiz, Saturday at 8 a.m. Be ready to win.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. Just no easy way to get around right now. And if you're heading over to the Nets game tonight at the Barclays in Brooklyn, definitely want to give yourself a generous head start. BQE not moving much in either direction, heading over to Atlantic Avenue. Eastbound side delays go back onto the inbound Gowanus. Westbound crawling from Queens Boulevard in Queens. All of your purchase the outbound George are awful aside from the Henry Hudson. Finally cleaned up that crash on the West Side Highway northbound in the 120s. Still jammed there and backed up to the Intrepid. Inbound George, stick with the lower deck. Upper deck will run you about 20 to 30 minutes. Outbound Lincoln, your best ride at 45. Outbound Hahn will run you close to an hour. Inbound at both of your tunnels, a 30 to 40 minute wait. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
If your car is out of warranty, one major repair bill could wipe you out. Just ask Ludacris.
Car breakdowns can wreck your wallet. Without Endurance, a worn-out timing belt could cost you $1,700. A busted transmission, that's $4,000 easy. An engine meltdown, $7,000. But if you've got Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a car repair again. With Endurance, your car's most expensive parts are covered. Plus, you pick the mechanic you trust to do the work. With Endurance, your rate stays the same no matter how many claims you file.
If your car is under 20 years old, Endurance has you covered with unlimited miles. Plus, your plan includes 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere in the country. Choose the name Ludacris trusts, Endurance. Right now, get $300 off any plan, plus a year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. For your free quote, call 800-431-8958. 800-431-8958. 800-431-8958.
Time now for the Damien Woody Report, brought to you by Bet365. It's Thursday, it's 5:30, and we always talk to Damien Woody. And if he did what he said he was going to do, he should have knew what that song that was playing underneath was from. And he joins us here on Hahn Rosenberg. Damien, how are you? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you guys. How are you guys doing?
Good, and did you watch the movie?
I thought y'all gave me a deadline like in the new year. Wasn't that the deal?
I knew it. It's the Hallmark season, Don. You got to understand. There's no winning that battle.
Don is really holding me to this.
You know, D. Willis, we have a studio audience, believe it or not. They watch on YouTube, and one of the questions being asked is, "Are you still in Hallmark jail?" Don would call that the zipper key.
Yes.
Are you still in Hallmark jail?
I am, very much so. I'm in literal hell right now. Like it's constant, like all the time, at night, during the day, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and I can't fight her on it. Like, I want peace in my house.
Yeah, I understand, but this has been 2 weeks now.
No,
all
Don.
you're asking for is an hour and 45 minutes of something different, and then we can get back to business as usual.
But see, my wife would say, "You hog the TV all football season.
Yep.
This is my season. This is my season now."
Right.
So, like, that's her rebuttal.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I'm sure you're going to be glued to the TV tonight. This is a good one, Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
And Rams, and I don't like it. I'm rooting for Sam Darnold. I want him to do well. I really do. But am I wrong to say this is just not his spot, man? We saw it last year against the Lions when he was in Minnesota. And it feels the same here, doesn't it, that he's a good quarterback, but is he ready for this big moment? Win the game. They're the 1 seed, at least going into Week 17.
Yeah.
Is he ready for this? Is he ready to have that big moment, national television, against what people believe is the best team in the NFL?
Well, listen, he'll have an opportunity to prove. Like, he matched up well with the Rams, and on top of that, the last 3 games, this offense, particularly the passing game, has been sputtering. So he'll have an opportunity, but I'm not overall encouraged.
You know what's weird, too, is McDonald's a really good coach. He's done a good job there. It's wild to say that they are better on the road in division games than they are at home. They're 2-3 at home in division games, D-Wood. That doesn't make sense. Like, that place used to be, the 13th man, 12th man. Like, that was the place. Tough to win there. Now they have a hard time winning at home in a division game.
Absolutely. I've always said, and I played in pretty much all the stadiums, that the two hardest places to play during my playing career was, Seattle and Kansas City, because it was, the noise was just deafening, and for some reason, it doesn't seem like it's, they're not as formidable as home as they used to be, but again, you're presented with a huge opportunity, and I believe this to be the best Thursday night matchup all season. So let's see what Sam Darnold can do tonight.
Mike Florio, who we all respect, says he would not be surprised if Aaron Glenn is one and done. We can't believe it. Do you think there's a chance he could be one and done?
No, I don't believe that. I think, listen, I think this was I think Woody Johnson is invested in Aaron Glenn, following through and being the guy. He's obviously a former Jet, one of the best players in the organization's history, and I think Woody Johnson is invested in trying to, make this thing work, and to just dump someone after 1 year, I think would feed into what people perceive Woody Johnson as, impulsive, and so I just think that. I don't see that happening. Obviously, I think if you ask Aaron Glenn, this season didn't go the way he thought it would go. But obviously, this is a rebuild situation where Aaron Glenn is trying to establish his culture in the building, and I think he's definitely going to get more than 1 year to try to state his case.
Now, it's something we probably talked about last week, but it's one of these stories that just isn't going away, because the more he talks, the more this unravels. Joe Burrow. Some of the guys on Get Up Today, Orlovsky, the Bustin' with the Boys, like those guys were kind of hinting to the fact that this sounds like a guy that doesn't really want to be in Cincinnati anymore. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, all you got to do is just listen to Joe Burrow. He's telling you everything that you need to know right now. He sounds like a guy where the joy of football is leaving him, which is, as a fan of Joe Burrow and the way he plays the game, it's sad to see and sad to hear, because I've always said Joe Burrow, in my opinion, plays the quarterback position probably the purest of any quarterback in the National Football League. But, man, it just seems like he's miserable out there. He's been beat up, battered. The team doesn't seem like well, we know the Cincinnati Bengals aren't a real functional organization. They're cheap. And so if you're Joe Burrow, you're looking at the landscape, it's like, how are we getting better anytime soon?
Now, we've talked about the Jets being in on him because of the 5 first-round picks. If you're Joe Burrow, do you look like it's one bad situation into another, or would you see value in going to a team like the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, listen, and to be honest with you, as someone who's a fan of the organization, I think if you're Joe Burrow, it's like, why in the world would I want to jump from Cincinnati to the Jets? I mean, think about it. Any responsible fan or person who's affiliated with the National Football League, why would you make that move? And so I think, listen, if you're Aaron Glenn and company, would you love to have Joe Burrow? Absolutely. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game when he's out there on the field. But I think from Joe Burrow's perspective, if he had to choose, he would probably choose somewhere that's a little bit more stable right now.
Would you say that the Bills Pats game last week, would you say that it was a bigger win for the Bills, or was it a concerning loss for the Patriots? What was the bigger takeaway from that? Pats are at home, right? They had a 21-0 lead, but Josh Allen putting on the cape as always and just playing like an MVP. Which was the bigger takeaway?
I tend to side with the Bills. I mean, think about it. You're the Patriots. You had an opportunity to basically put your foot on that throat and state the claim of the AFC East, but they never put the king away. Like I always say, you got to dethrone the king, and they never did it. They never made Buffalo come out of what they want to do best, which is running the football. And so you saw in that second half the adjustments that the Bills made, particularly on the defensive side of the football. They really threw the kitchen sink at Drake May and company, really befuddled him, and it allowed them to stay in what they wanted to do offensively, which is run the football. And their running game really came alive in the second half, and ultimately they ended up coming out of Foxborough with a win.
Did it expose anything with the Pats, though? They were rolling. I mean, they were really good. Is any concern about the Patriots after that game?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think you look at the Pats, the one thing they've been doing well for most of the season is being able to stop the run. They got a couple guys out that I thought really played a key factor in why the Bills were able to run the ball as well as they did. Milton Williams, their star defensive tackle, the guy they signed in free agency from the Philadelphia Eagles, he's been missing. Spillane, their linebacker in the middle, who's had a really good season, he was out. And so if you're the Patriots, you need those guys back in the lineup because they make your defense that much more formidable. And I think Josh McDaniels, and he took blame for this, that he felt like he didn't put Drake May in the position to really go out there and execute the way that we've been seeing them all season long. So I think if you're the Patriots, you're disappointed that you weren't able to finish off the Bills. But I just give more credit to the Bills and how they were able to stay in that game and ultimately win it on the road.
Is Baltimore's problem, Damien, anything to do with coaching or just not getting what they need from Jackson?
I think it's a combination, to be honest with you. I can't remember the last time Lamar Jackson's been playing this bad, to be honest with you. He's nowhere near as effective running the football, and just he's not very crisp in the passing game. Their passing game overall just, to be honest with you, it stinks. And so if you're the Baltimore Ravens, man, you're hanging on by a thread. They're nowhere near the threat that we all thought coming into the season. Now, their defense has gotten better, but if Lamar Jackson's not Lamar Jackson, then I don't think you can take the Baltimore Ravens as seriously as we once thought they were.
If you were teammates with Puka Nacua, would you be having a conversation with him today about why don't we stay off social media for a while?
I mean, if it's not apparent to Puka Nacua right now, then I don't know what else to say. Sometimes I would say this, man, sometimes, guys get caught up in all this other stuff, but, like they say, keep the main thing the main thing. You're on this great run. Stay focused on the task at hand. And don't associate yourself with people that could not only, bring harm to your name, but to also to other people, surrounded you. So, I'm sure Puka Nacua regrets that whole thing, and hopefully he focuses back on what's really important right now.
It's amazing how young these coaches are, Damien, that a head coach had the distraction of having a child. It's usually a player that has that happen to him. Like, so you look at the Rams tonight, like how much of a distraction your head coach had. It's just crazy. You have a quarterback in Indianapolis older than most of the coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. And I blame Sean McVay. Usually as players, man, we plan these things out. Like, we usually plan these things out in the off season where our wives and significant others have children, but Sean McVay kind of took a different route. So
sometimes you just shoot up the club, you don't realize it. You don't realize it. You don't know. Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes you get caught up in the moment. You shoot up the club at the wrong time, man. So it's just bad timing by Sean McVay.
Yeah, that watching too much Hallmark Channel, right? All the romance in there.
Hey, man, it'll get you, man. I got to be careful myself.
Yeah, I brought him up. You didn't seem like thrilled about what was happening in Indianapolis with Phillip Rivers. You saw what it looked like. They're going to run it back again this week. What do you think about the 44-year-old getting a second kick at the can here?
Yeah, man. Listen, I think when all this came down, I was more so like I was worried for Phillip Rivers' health. To be honest with you, like 5 years on the couch, and you're going out and playing Seattle against that defense. But I have to say, watching that game, I think Phillip Rivers really acquitted himself well. Yeah, he didn't put up any type of gaudy stats, and they didn't ask him to do a lot of crazy stuff. But the simple fact that a 44-year-old player who spent the last 5 years on the couch went out there and gave it his all, man, I think, for any fan, I think that deserves a round of applause, man. I really do.
Yeah, he almost did. I mean, they almost won the game.
It's wild.
He left, too many seconds on the clock, but he almost pulled it off, man. So kudos to Phillip Rivers.
And kudos to you, by the way. You've been a fantastic guest of ours. We're not going to be around next week, so Merry Christmas to you and your family, D. Wood.
Yeah, man. Merry Christmas to you guys as well, man. Don, I promise I won't let you down, brother. I promise.
All right, so the next time we'll talk to you will be in 2026. It'll be after the new year.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll have seen it. We can have a nice conversation about it.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, same to you.
That was the Damien Woody Report brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. A lot of calls to get to at 1-800-919-3776, and then ENN at 6.
Yeah.
And then at 6:30, we hand it off to our coverage of the Knicks and the Pacers right here on ESPN New York.
Listen up, football fans. Ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
The winter savings event is right now at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $169 per month, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5. Select for as low as $229 per month and get as low as 0.9% APR financing rates on select model. Plus, enjoy 1 year complimentary of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Looking for a fantastic holiday deal? Stop by Boost Mobile tomorrow, Friday, December 19th from 2 to 6 p.m. at 356 West 145th Street in New York for their special holiday event. Free gifts to the first 50 kids and free photos with Santa. Bring the whole family, and while you're there, check out their amazing deal. Unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month. Forever, as in for life. Make the move and watch your savings stack up. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigs, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Unlimited plan.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Discover a driving experience crafted to inspire. At Garden City Mazda, exceptional design and sophisticated performance come together. During the Mazda More to Move You sales event, lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5 for $229 a month for 33 months. Or the 2025 Mazda CX-50 for $239 a month for 33 months. Both with $49.95 due at signing. It's the Mazda More to Move You sales event at Garden City Mazda. At Garden City Mazda, expect the exceptional.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Knicks fans, it's time for basketball, and the action starts on Friday at Goldie's Tavern with Team ESPN New York and Ultra. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Knicks bar to watch the game versus the 76ers, Goldie's Tavern is your destination. The party tips off at 6:30 p.m., and Team ESPN will be giving away ESPN, Ultra, and Knicks prizes. Join fellow Knicks fans on Friday at 135 West 30th Street. Cheer on your Knicks, enjoy Ultra draft and bottle specials, and cool prizes all game long at Goldie's Tavern.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $159 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SM839072. MSRP $26,690. Zero security deposit, ends 1/2/26. All right, let's get to your phone calls. Last chance to do it. Moose in Jamaica. What do you got? Hi, Moose.
Can you hear me?
Moose. Oh, sure.
Yes, hello?
Yes,
hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
You get one more and you're gone.
Good evening, guys. How are we?
Good evening, Moose.
I'd like to discuss how I was a yo-yo bumchuck who thought the Jets could possibly win 7 to 9 games if they didn't absolutely poop the bed, chocolate soft serve in your pants the whole 9. If they actually were able to do what they schemed, have the play action run game, two-headed monster run back, and Wilson get that connection from college. With that being said, I'd like to really discuss how maybe the thing we're not looking at as to why Florio said what he said. Remember, Woody Johnson and the Jets said they were increasing ticket prices for next season, and how maybe where there's smoke, there's fire. What he may be hearing, Florio, is that management and ownership is not really happening with the direction of the team and the results on the field. So it might just be like uneasiness why there may be some chatter that
I mean, listen, anything's possible. He said it. But he'd have to eat 4 years. I mean, just think of the egg you would have on your face. We believe in this guy. He's a former Jet, recommended by Bill Parcells. We give him a 5-year contract, really competing against ourselves. Like, the 5-year contract to me is not because they were afraid he was going to stay in Detroit or that he was going to get gobbled up by the Bears. They did it because they said, this is going to be our guy, and we're committed to him. And after 1 year, when I don't believe the expectations ever within that walls of Florham Park where we can win 8-9 games. Maybe if Justin Fields finds it, we might be able to surprise some people. But they were quiet for the most part all summer. And believe me, I worked there for 16 years, Alan. Mm-hmm. And when they'd have a new coach, man, they'd talk him up. There'd be all these things, the excitement. They kind of just laid low because I think they knew or they just didn't know what to expect.
Well, Darren Muji for sure, right? Like there was a lot of just quelling of expectations, and it's all about building and all that stuff. And you know what else too? When you're building and you're building a business, you need as much help as you can get, Don.
Mm-hmm.
And so every aspect of your business, from the most mundane to the most complex, will operate orders of magnitude better and faster when you add artificial intelligence. AI is literally a race to the top. The companies that engage AI first will win. Will that be you? Or will it be your competitors? Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. It's founded by tech powerhouses. Thrive partners with you on smart and secure AI strategies for your business. Then they deploy it and manage it for you. Imagine AI solutions working across every part of your business, automating support, powering chatbots, analyzing competitors, even managing billing, collections, and orders. That's just a taste of what Thrive Managed AI can help you achieve. It makes your talented team even better by letting them focus on what they do best. The race to the top will be won by those who engage Thrive Managed AI first. That needs to be you. Go to thrivenextgen.com/ESPN and get started with a complimentary strategy consultation. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. thrivenextgen.com/ESPN, Donnie.
All right. How about we go to Andrew on Long Island? You're on ESPN New York. What's up?
Hello?
Hello.
Sure.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, Andrew?
Who's this? Andrew from Long Island.
Okay.
Hello. Listen, we talked a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying about trading the first pick, and you guys weren't for it at all. But how are you guys feeling about it now? I think they might do that deal with the Jets, the Giants.
For the Giants to trade the first pick. Yeah, Andrew, I'm still out.
Yeah, well, you know what? I did some mock drafts on it. They're pretty good, the mock drafts. I mean, you never know what's going to happen till the actual day, but they get pick 5, 18, and 36, and that's not bad because the Giants had, 135 and 101. And they're definitely going to take Khalib Downs, I think, or Carnell Tate, because those are going to be the best picks, I think, for him when they do pick that, whether it's first or
No. You're missing my point, Andrew. If I'm the Jets, I am not doing that.
Oh, I got
it. Not the Giants. The Giants, the Giants are definitely going to try. They definitely should try to shop that pick and get multiple picks because they have a lot of holes to fill in the roster and they don't need a quarterback. I'm saying what you proposed to me was the Jets trading with the Giants, and you asked me if I'm still out, and I'm saying yes, I am not.
Okay, I got you. It could be another team
assets
as well, But it might not even be the first pick then. It could be even the second or third pick by then. Who knows?
It's true.
Well, there's a couple of things at play here. And Andrew,
but I still see him going for the safety and the wide receiver for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no doubt they're going in those directions. Corner. Yeah.
How
was that for you, Don? How'd that go?
Well, listen, I just hope it was good weed. Check out a dispensary near you.
Yeah.
First of all, let's see if it plays out. It may not be Mendoza by the time we get to the draft. If Moore declares and wins a national championship in Oregon, he might leapfrog over Mendoza. Where all of a sudden now the 2 pick could have value. So you don't have to have the number 1 pick. And I am, you know how I feel whenever I roll my eyes, the Mets and Yankees won't make a trade. Like, why? Do what's best for you. The Giants and the Jets are different because just how would it look if the Giants are responsible for the Jets finally getting their franchise quarterback? They're the ones that handed it to him on a silver platter, and they got to share the building with him. And if you're the Jets, how would it be if you traded up, Mendoza becomes a bust, and the Giants are able to rebuild their franchise with all these picks and win the next Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. There's something. They don't just share a city; they share the damn building. You know, I'm not.
I'm with you. I told you, I wouldn't do it. Like, you'd have to tell me that a generational quarterback's there, and then yes, I would do it. But I'm not doing it for a guy that's a variable that wouldn't have been a top pick in any other draft. A guy that we have no idea. No, I can't. No way.
No, it would be a tough thing to live down because listen, it might turn out to be a Detroit Rams kind of deal where both teams win, but there'll be a winner and a loser, and they're going to have to sit in their own stink.
Donnie.
There it is. Birth of a franchise.
Birth of a dynasty.
Birth of dynasty, excuse me.
This is I wrote this like 20 years ago. This is the 30 for 30 that we need right here.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I know I'm a hockey guy. But you're talking about some of the, not just the biggest names in the history of the sport, the biggest characters in the history of the sport.
Oh.
That have done something that will ever happen. There's never going to be another team in any sport, obviously football not included because they don't play series, that will win 19 consecutive series, 4 straight championships, and lose in the final in the 5th year. That's 30 for 30.
And it'll never happen. It's never happening again.
It's never going to happen again.
It's not. Consecutive? No, there's a new way to define a dynasty, but back then, dynasty was consecutive, and they're the last to do it. Nobody will ever do it again.
The closest to do it is Tampa. They won back-to-back cups and lost in the final in the 3rd year.
Yeah.
So that ended up being, 11 straight series.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the Yankees won. I mean, the Yankees had their run. They won 3.
Yeah, but
they got to the 4th, but they lost.
Right.
That was as close as I think we'll ever see it.
Right. But in basketball and hockey where you have to go 4 rounds to win, and Tampa came the closest, it's 11. Florida, I guess, can keep going because they've now won 8 straight since they lost the Stanley Cup Final to Vegas. So that's still a possibility. They're still 11 away. It's pretty incredible. ENN, an Anthony Pusick-led vehicle.
Let's go.
Is coming up next here on ESPN New York.
Brees Hall, the eye back at the 5-yard line. Handoff, Brees Hall finds a crease, runs left. He's into the end zone for a Jet touchdown. Jets fans, come out to MetLife Stadium for a Week 17 divisional matchup. See the New York Jets host the New England Patriots Sunday, December 28th at 1 p.m. Presented by Ticketmaster. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
Hey, it's Michael Kay talking to you about my friends at PC Richard & Son. They're local, family-owned, and I trust them, and you can too. Right now, save on all holiday gifts for everyone on your list. And with their holiday price guarantee, your price is protected. If the price goes lower from now through December 24th, they will match it. You can't beat it. Plus, you get fast and free delivery. PC Richard & Son, the company you could trust for over 116 years. Free delivery excludes Manhattan.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off and to wear a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the night. Get home safe and quick. Last gridlock alert day of the year, and we're in bad shape out there on the roads. Over in Nassau County, Southern State westbound, bumper to bumper with a crash by Peninsula Boulevard. Delays there go back to the Wantagh. Trans-Siberian Orchestra tonight over at the UBS Arena. Solid pockets of slowdowns on the Cross Island southbound, heading over to Hempstead Turnpike from the Throgs Neck Bridge in Queens. Nets are home at the Barclays in Brooklyn. Not moving much on the BQE in either direction, heading over to Atlantic Avenue. Westbound especially tough, crawling there from Queens Boulevard. All of your approaches to the outbound George are terrible, aside from the Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound, slam from the Bruckner on through. Inbound George, stick with the lower deck if you can. Upper level about a 20 to 30 minute ride. Outbound Lincoln Orany about 45 minutes. Outbound Holland close to an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station. This is an ENN Special Report. Now reporting...
The very handsome Jewish man, Peter Rosenberg.
We should talk some sports. Do what you want. It's ENN. Oh, he's staying put in his seat.
Hello.
He's not going into the main studio. He's staying in the control room. I love it.
You want to see what the control room looks like right now?
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. It's all dark.
Well, that's the studio, looks like.
Lights out, not control room. The studio. Studio's lights out.
I got a flight to catch. Alan's over, he's got...
No, I got nothing.
We got phones ringing.
Phones ringing. It's all happening because...
Somebody go get that.
In the big city.
Answer that.
Yes.
And one of the things we get to do during the holiday season is to have Anthony Pusick lead ENN.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Alan. I'd like to say good evening to my good friend, Don.
Look how it gnaws at its feet.
Sure.
Watch the gazelle.
Come
as
for
it
ENN
grazes.
And stay for the Don conspiracy theory.
If you want your avocado, cut it up, eat it, rub it on your face. I don't care.
Apparently not.
Mashed potatoes are wonderful. They go great with steak, but nobody ever goes, have you tried the mashed potatoes?
That was a bad
You're angry at the mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Well, there's a line that...
I'm laughing to myself.
There's a line that Alan, I think, knows. Peter definitely knows it. About if I knew it was that kind of party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a great line, and we can't
You'd
use
put something in the mashed potatoes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don again.
When was that?
I don't know, Jacob. Where was that one?
Was that today?
No, that was yesterday, but I can't remember where
it had to have been from ENN. We had a lot from ENN yesterday.
Yeah.
Don's trying to knock himself off of Drop Madness lists and back on.
I ripped it out.
And there's Alan.
I loved ENN yesterday.
It was great, ENN. Fantastic.
Jacob's always lurking. You never know.
Oh, listen.
Like he's always lurking, and you never you say things that he will cut, and you're like, when did I say that? But he's always lurking.
He's listening.
Sinister, man.
If that went wide, won the last drop madness we had, I don't know if Jacob would be here today.
Well, on the show or just alive?
No, on the show.
Oh, I thought you were killing him off.
No. Don was not happy with that one, though. You remember that one, right, Don?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, listen.
Hit the post, but the
Oh, no.
That one was.
I did not play that. I didn't play that.
These are people that claim to be friends.
Apparently.
Wait a minute.
Oh, no, we have double Allen. Hang on. Let me get we got
Yeah,
Don.
I don't know what you're doing to me today, but
I like the picture
Funhouse.
that Steve Brzezinski posted.
Yeah, my face
where we have
like
almost
split in half.
Cyclops Allen, but it's
Great.
actually we do get both of your eyes.
Why are we doing this? That was some call. It happens to everybody, though.
Of
It's funny
course.
when it happens.
And Jacob made sure to let everybody know off hours that it happened.
It's not that.
Chris, that's
At least it's not.
No.
Poor Carlin.
I tell Chris, I'm like, that's how we acknowledge you on the show. He goes, yeah, I know. Anyway, Don said he was interested. Don said he was intrigued. I texted Peter. Maybe he's in parts unknown again. Maybe he's trapped. I'm not sure. But the line for tonight's Thursday night football game, which is one of the better games that we're going to have all year, not just Thursday night in general, even with Devontae Adams listed as doubtful. Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Rams had trouble getting out of L.A. last night. Had some mechanical issues. And the line, as it stands right now on DraftKings, is Seattle minus 1.5. Will either of you two be partaking in tonight's festivities?
So the problems with the plane, injuries to Devontae Adams, head coach child.
Is a child or had one. The wife did, though. He didn't really do much work. His work was done months ago.
And knowing these coaches would be like, all right, just let me know when the baby needs college money.
Wow.
I am going to, and I want Seattle to win this game. I'm a Sam Darnold fan. I think it would be fabulous.
Go.
And I said this off the air. I don't need people to hate me. I just there's something about the Rams. The Rams don't move me at all. I don't like their uniforms.
Show me something.
I don't like that they
show me.
There's two teams
Come
in
on.
LA.
Show me something.
So as much as I'd be happy to see Seattle win this game, I just don't think Sam's got it in him. I'm going to go the Rams.
Oh!
3-point play.
Oh, yeah. It has to be. Listen. It has to be. There's no other way to do it.
There's no other way. Once I'm partaking, I only go 3. That's all I could ever do.
We got to put that out right now. It is official. Rams plus 1.5. 3 points for Donnie. Be watching
the Rams
that.
not the best team in football. Are they not the best team in football? And they're getting points against a team that needed a last-second field goal to beat a 44-year-old quarterback.
That was really troubling. Anthony Richardson, by the way, back to practicing. That's still going with Philip Rivers.
Come on.
And listen, I love, again, everything about the Seattle and the 12 and how difficult it is to play there. I think we're living in the past, man. I want to live in the present.
I want to,
and I want to be wrong because
I want to take Seattle so bad now,
do it.
to make it spicy.
Make it a 3.
Tonight.
Come on. Here's some mashed potatoes. Go for it.
Nobody gets excited about the mashed potatoes.
But I'm not, because my numbers tell me not to do it.
Listen, I've got a little wiggle room
here. We don't do
here.
emotion.
Did anybody reach out to Petey Weedy to see if he wants to partake?
As I said, I texted him, Seattle minus 1.5, and he might be trapped. Parts unknown, don't know. But if he doesn't get it to me before we break here, I'm not going to count it. So,
okay.
I thought he would just do it to have less picks to text tomorrow.
What do you think the percentage is that he just goes, I'm so far behind, I'm good, I'm not making picks?
Well, that would be weak.
Yeah, that's soft.
That would be Michael.
Bear make picks.
What would the percentage be? I'm just
Maya make picks.
I was disgusted with Michael last year.
Oh, man.
We could have continued to keep it going, and he just tapped out because the show was over. So why are we going to continue to do it? But we were still on the same station. We still could have crossed it over, but and we certainly would have if he had a big lead. But he was out, and he tapped out. No one in the history of this radio station has ever given up.
Ever.
Now, they might have given up as far as, how they pick. Peter might have done that week 1. But You still make the picks, guys.
I do want to say that I will give Peter credit or not, however you want to say it. This is how he always picks. This hasn't changed.
Just willy-nilly?
It was always, what are the games this week?
Oh, boy.
And then he would get like 5 points a week, and Don would go, how is this possible?
If you know how on DNR,
yes,
I don't know if they do it every top of the hour or just a certain hour,
where
Dave just gives the ID and they just go right into the next.
That is that's their extended, I believe, from 7 to 8, going into the 8 o'clock.
So 7 to 8. If we did that from 5 to 6, and we did the 5:45, and then I gave the ID right into the picks, he would never make a pick. That
break is where he gets it.
Break is when he makes the picks. And that's a lot of work. That's 3 minutes of seeing who's playing and then making picks.
Yeah, Ken confirm. Yeah,
if he ever tells you I got he'll got nothing.
You got umgats.
But you know what? Good on him, man. Because it's not like he's had a bad year, but there's been times he's won.
Oh yeah.
So
So it worked. It worked.
Well, we'll
at
see
some
if we
point.
get picks tomorrow. Meanwhile, just a quick update from the chat because I was just glancing.
Okay.
Jacob Perry. Apparently, it's believed that you could be. Now, remember, this is Bubanj hour, so some things are a little cloudy.
I think I saw what you was talking about.
You could be a close relative of Josh Hart.
Oh,
you are in the foreground of the control room camera. Notice that Jake stood up, by the way, Don.
Who did Bart say you were a brother of, Jacob? Remember that?
Oh, Trevor Ariza.
Trevor Ariza.
But that's
I don't see that.
Talk about a strange poll.
That is
listen,
a strange poll. Trevor Ariza is a strange poll. Yes.
There we go. Beautiful. Jacob, do you see that connection? Have you gotten that before? Not the Trevor Ariza, the other one, Josh Hart.
Josh Hart, yes, but that was when I had braids too.
You had braids?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be my first time, but yeah, I've heard it before.
Okay.
I like it.
I mean, we just keep doing this.
I'm doing my best.
What is happening? Is Don just dropping out like crazy?
Tech Direct and Dewey-N at the same time.
Anthony's an octopus right now. He really is.
I like when we get half of Alan's head on one shot and half of it on the other.
It's so strange.
And Don, I give Don credit because it's not anything he's doing. It's just the way it is today.
He's just disappearing.
What's going on?
You're not doing anything.
From Damien Woody's segment on.
Yeah.
Your camera has decided it will cut in and out whenever it feels like. And that's fine. It just makes for funny visuals.
Anyways.
Your audio is great. Anyway,
yeah.
you guys mentioned it before, that guy, Puka Nacua. This one, I don't want to say this one is his fault. He at least apologized for it. On that live stream with Aiden Ross and Neon, they asked him to do a hand gesture for his touchdown celebration, never explaining what that hand gesture meant or what it could mean. And it turned out that it was a harmful stereotype against Jewish people. So in a statement issued earlier today, he apologized for performing that gesture on the internet live stream. And at the time, he had no idea of the nature of the gesture.
Yeah.
And that is part of the Puka Nacua story. From this
So
week.
is he now out with those guys then? Because they obviously led him down the wrong path, so he's got to cut ties, no? Otherwise, this becomes his problem.
I would imagine that he wouldn't want to go back on with them again.
By the way, Anthony, as you know, that's not the only notorious story connected to Puka Nacua today.
Or the Nacuas in general.
Well, the family.
Yes. The brother of Los Angeles Rams star Puka Nacua was one of the 2 men arrested over the weekend for allegedly stealing a vehicle reportedly belonging to Lakers forward Adu Thiero, who I just learned is in the NBA. The men arrested Saturday by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department are Trey Rose, 27, and Samson Nacua, also 27, the brother of the Pro Bowl wide receiver Puka Nacua. The vehicle is a newer model BMW that NBC4 LA reported belonged to Thiero. In a release, the LA Sheriff's Department said its deputies were able to track the vehicle to the 8400 block of Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood. The 2 men were arrested on Saturday afternoon for taking the vehicle without the owner's consent and released that night.
Oh. But if it got people knowing that he was in the NBA, was it worth it?
I don't know. I think I'd want my car.
Yeah, I'm with you, but all right. Well, you know what? That's a shame.
It wasn't a good weekend
for the Nacuas.
For the Nacuas, no.
But you know what's going to happen is they'll win tonight, solidify the first overall seed in the conference, get me 3 points, and then it all will be forgiven. I've got a flight to catch, gentlemen, since we're at the end of this story.
Oh, no, Irish.
Don,
love you, Don.
have a
Safe
great
travels.
flight.
I am on my way to Utah.
We'll talk to you in Utah.
and I will talk to you from Salt Lake City tomorrow at 3 o'clock, okay?
All right. Sounds good, Don.
I love you all.
We love you back. And
love
that
you more.
is Don LaGreca. It'll be Alan Hahn, Jacob Perry, and Anthony Pusick to close out ENN here. We've got about, 10 minutes until Knicks Pacers coverage right at the bottom of the hour. And if you're looking for Rangers, that will be on 10:50 starting at 7:30 there in St. Louis to take on the Blues. Alan, it is a very, very busy weekend for us here at the station because on top of everything else, the college football playoffs are starting.
That's right.
There's a big game tomorrow.
There is.
You've got Oklahoma, Alabama. If you do want to listen to that on the radio, it will be on 10:50 in its entirety.
Of course it will.
But if you're listening to the Knick game and you're like, I wonder how the Alabama-Oklahoma game's doing, you don't have to worry. Tomorrow, after Knicks Sixers coverage, we will join Alabama-Oklahoma in progress.
JIP?
JIP. And then Saturday, another big day. Miami, Texas A&M, 10:50, 12 o'clock, also on ESPN and ABC TV. Saturday, Tulane, Ole Miss, 8:80 and 10:50 at 3:30. And then James Madison, Oregon, 8:80, 10:50 at 7:30. All of your college football playoff action on ESPN Radio can be heard on ESPN New York this weekend.
Your one-stop shopping. And that, by the way, JMU, Oregon. I mean, who's not tuned in?
Well, listen, this is not going to be a good look if both Power 5 schools get absolutely obliterated, but I do envision that that's what's going to happen. I believe the lines were like 21.5 and 17.5. So
I see right now on ESPN.com that Oregon is favored by 21 points.
Okay, so that was the one that I saw, and then the other one, which is, of course, Tulane, Ole Miss, with half of their offensive staff and the DC, now the HC,
17.5.
Are 17.5.
Yeah.
Against Tulane. And by the way, that's what's funny about that one. John Sumrall, who's the Florida head coach.
Yep.
Tulane allowed him to coach, and he donated $100,000 to their NIL program.
See how easy that is?
It's
not that hard.
Nice dichotomy of what you can do and what you can't do when you leave a school.
You are also doing it's like Tulane to another school. It's not like
no,
but still, it's that's not that difficult. But Alabama, Oklahoma. I mean, that's the
good
one.
game.
That's the one. Man.
That's a really good game. Now this is interesting too because a lot of people are talking about this. We've talked about Fernando Mendoza, Heisman winner. He makes a run in this college football playoff. I don't know if more out of Oregon is going to leave, but if you make a run, you make it to the semifinal, you ball out, you don't think that that's going to make a difference between whether or not you want to be in this draft because you're a top 5 pick versus maybe I'll stay another year.
Isn't the same for Ty Simpson too? Like I do think if you put together a couple of weeks and you play scintillating football, in this draft you have a chance as a quarterback to find yourself suddenly in the money. You're in the money. If you're a top 5 pick, how do you say, no, I want to stay for another year? You're not doing that. What you're waiting for is for an NFL team. That's why none of these guys Moore has not made a decision because he doesn't want to, because you never know. You could go into pro day season and you could start making some teams salivate. If you have a good finish to the season, playing some big games at big moments, this is a draft where a quarterback might find himself moving up quickly, and it's hard. It's almost impossible to say no to the NFL, especially if you get a guarantee.
No, of course. We could be looking in a world, Alan, where the Chicago Bears may not play in Illinois.
I saw this story. This has to be a leverage play.
It has to be. 3 days before hosting their biggest game at Soldier Field in years, Chicago Bears are exploring moving outside of the city. In an open letter to fans last night, team president and CEO Kevin Warren said the Bears will explore other locations, including outside of Cook County, where the team owns a 326-acre property in Arlington Heights, Illinois, to build a domed stadium. That includes the possibility of moving the Bears out of Illinois altogether, possibly Indiana. You're right about the leverage play thing.
Northern Indiana doesn't make sense at all.
But it's pretty
suburbs
crazy.
of Chicago, you could do it. I mean, that's everybody. It's been done, man. The Jets and Giants moved literally out of New York.
Correct. And still are called the New York.
Are called New York. You can do it. And maybe it'll be better.
Maybe, and you're right. If the city or whatever it is that they want from Chicago is not giving them what they want, this is the way to try and get what you want. But something to keep an eye on as Chicago looks for another stadium. This is kind of cool. Kevin Garnett, Hall of Famer, has agreed to reunite with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Lynx in an all-new encompassing role as a team ambassador involving business, community, and fan engagement efforts and content development, the team announced earlier today. Okay. They'll also hold Garnett's much-awaited number 21 jersey retirement ceremony in Minnesota. He was distant from the Timberwolves due to a fallout with the former owner, Glenn Taylor, but has had a much better rapport with our good friend Alex Rodriguez, friend of the show, and Mark Lore, the new governors of the team. So Kevin Garnett gets to go back to a place that he called home for a very long time. That's pretty nice.
It's smart play, too, right? When you're a new owner, the first thing you do is you try to mend a fence with a great player. And Kevin Garnett, the best player in Minnesota Timberwolves franchise history, right? So you do that knowing that the first thing you're going to do is create a relationship with him when you know the previous one didn't. Beloved there. So that's a really cool story.
Steve Cohen did similar when he became the Met owner. He made all the relationships and rapport. Not that the Wilpons, I would say, didn't, but he certainly made them feel like they were welcomed and that they mattered in the new era of Mets baseball. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Good story.
There's nothing, and we go from a good story to one of our favorite stories, collective bargaining agreements.
Oh, yeah.
The WNBPA announced earlier today that its members have voted overwhelmingly to authorize calling a strike when necessary. During the ongoing negotiations between Players Association and the WNBA on a new collective bargaining agreement, the players have spoken, the WNBPA said in a statement. Through a decisive vote with historic participation, our membership has authorized the WNBPA's executive committee to call a strike when necessary. The players' decision is an unavoidable response to the state of negotiations with the WNBA and its teams. That does not sound good.
Well, when are they going to start the strike? Because they don't play again until May.
Well, they said when necessary. So I think...
So what they're saying is that if we don't get anywhere and we're starting to get towards April...
We're good with striking.
Then we're gonna strike. And like I wouldn't say this is a bluff or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't think so either.
I actually think a lot of these players, especially now with a lot of the higher end players, especially, they make so much money now away from the game through sponsorships. Yep. That's become a big thing. That you could see, I could see this happening.
You also have the secondary leagues that these women are playing in that are also kind of. It seems like for some of the top people.
What's the one? It's
getting more money than what they would for the WNBA.
Right now. There's another one.
The 3-on-3 one, right?
No, not that one. There's another one that's called Players something.
Got to look it up.
They do it in several different sports, but that's done pretty well.
So definitely something to keep an eye on there.
All I'm saying is this: is that you have to understand though.
Unrivaled.
Yeah, Unrivaled. That's the one. Yeah, players. The problem here is that while there is this fight to get more money, and I understand it. You know, the revenue is what drives salary. That's the most important part. The revenue has gone up. That's true. But how much of it percentage-wise of salary? People that don't know this, in all these sports, NFL, NBA, NHL, they're all driven by the revenue, total revenue, and the players get a percentage. Most of the time it's 50-50. A lot of times it might be 51-49. But it's very close to 50-50 in all the leagues. That's it. That's the piece of the pie you get, half. So I can't understand if you're the WNBA, like that's easy math. There's only so much that can go around if your revenues aren't at a certain number. So that's why I'm curious to see. And that's the next play. The league will then give you all the numbers. They'll make it all public, and you'll just see how much is available to the players. Because it has gone up. I mean, since Caitlin Clark came into the league, it's skyrocketed like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's continued with all the newer players that have come in. They have done a really good job. They have a lot of very popular young players, and it's going to continue to go up. But this is a very interesting fight. I still think the WNBA should play during the NBA season.
That would make sense.
It should be side by side. Putting it in late spring, early summer, I think it gets lost.
Probably doesn't help. Now, we talked earlier, and we've had many suggestions from you, from Don, from fans, from listeners, from people on the YouTube chat of how to spice up the NBA Cup. Well, On NBA Today, Shams Charania was talking about one of the ways that Adam Silver might be looking at doing that.
The NBA has Duke and Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham, North Carolina, as among their strong options as a Cup championship game host, potentially as soon as 2026. And so as the league explores outside of Las Vegas, could there be a high-level college program like Duke to host a game? So imagine in December having the NBA Cup championship game among the crazies at Duke there, in North Carolina.
Shout out to Marshmallow for following Shams around for that spot.
Yeah. Is anybody going to get excited about playing at Cameron?
I just don't know. The neutral site thing didn't work. So we're going to say we're going to do different neutral site, but it's just going to be cool college arenas. I think the people that would go would really enjoy it and be excited. But I don't know if that's going to change the way that we feel about whether or not this is going to be cool or not. That's going to do it for ENN, everybody.
That's a great ENN.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Well done as always, Anthony, and Josh Hart's brother, Jacob, as well. Great job by you. Great job by everybody in the chat. I always have fun with everybody in the chat when I'm home because I get to see it and I get to interact. So we are back at it tomorrow, everybody. See you then.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team